was vital this year. 3 solid starts in Sarasota, and he broke camp with the Birds. 3 relief appearances this season. He's allowed 6 hits, only 1 run, worked 8 innings. Tonight, he moves into the rotation. Tyler Wilson's first start of the year. It's against the Royals. It's the Orioles on Masson and WJZ from Kansas City, the city of fountains. Game 2 of the 3-game set. The Orioles and the Royals. 4-2. Royals got the win in the opener last night. Well, in honor of the Bard and the 400th anniversary of his passing, all the world is a stage. And our stage tonight is Kauffman Stadium. Beautiful ballpark. They're going to have a big crowd on hand here for this Saturday night game. And for the Orioles, Manny Machado continues to ride the early wave. Looking to be an MVP? Well, the fact of the matter is, yes, that is what he would like to do. You take a look at the numbers he's put up in his rankings this season in the American League. That is an unbelievable start. He's going for the record, which is 17 of a hit streak to start the beginning of the season for the Orioles. He is at 15 right now. For Buck Showalter, about Manny Machado and an MVP, oh yeah.
His first statement was, my first goal is for us to win it all, be the last team standing. And something that could really help us do that is for me to be this. And I'm okay with that.
Manny Machado showing why it matters at the plate. His 6th home run in a ballpark that does not yield many. And of course in the field, Gold Glove. That one would end 1 inning, and the very next batter up for Kansas City to start the next inning, another play at third base that he makes look so easy. Another Gold Glove, Mike Bordick, and an MVP?
It seems like it. I'll tell you what, Manny Machado is combining both sides of the ball at such a high level right now, offensively and defensively. Perennial Gold Glove winner now at third base. And offensively, it's been a pleasure to just watch him climb and grow. And I think there are a couple reasons for this. One is a couple knee surgeries that he had to rehab back, so he built leg strength underneath him. And that leg strength, he has found this foundation where he's able to keep his posture tall and he's able to drive the ball all over the ballpark. Another thing is just the fact that I think he's accepted the challenge of third base. There's no more talk about Manny going to shortstop, and I think a couple years ago he thought, okay, I'm going to be the shortstop of the future. It's going to happen pretty soon. Well, it's not. Manny, you're the third baseman. JJ's the shortstop, and he's accepted that, and he's excelling.
And we'll get to see him excel here again tonight. And that's what you have to do if you're going to win a championship. When we come back, we will talk with Buck Showalter about what it takes to come out on top, which is what Kansas City did last year. the Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. They are, of course, the Royals, the world champions. It is not an easy thing to accomplish a championship in any sport. We had a chance to talk with both managers about that, beginning with Buck Showalter. You see here in his 7th season with the Orioles, already 3rd on the list of Orioles wins as a manager. How tough to come up with a championship ball club? This is what Buck said.
There's so many dynamics to it, and it's so fleeting. And because we play so many games, I mean, the emotional and mental and physical toll in a job that's 7 days a week for 7 or 8 months, counting spring training. But it's also what separates you, and why it's unlike any other sport. Certain things will show up that aren't always a physical skill. But it's so gratifying. It's unfortunately, in our society, only one team is perceived as successful, and it's so hard to get there. And it's so fleeting. You think it's going to be there all the time. People get used to it that have done it a lot. And it's like the Buffalo Bills in 4 Super Bowls, 3 or 4. And people talk about, how sad it was. And are you kidding me? Getting there? How hard that is? That's one of the great accomplishments of the NFL. And but that's why it's just so gratifying if you can do it, because and everybody has such respect for how hard it is.
But as a manager, do you think you get a sense in the course of a year as to whether or not you've got a club that's got a shot at it? Can you tell?
Well, you're looking half full, and you're always, spring training, all your weaknesses show up, all your strengths show up. It's a great exposure of that because we play so many games, and that's why you try to stay on such an even keel, because you're never as good as the good streaks, you're never as bad as the bad streaks, and somewhere in between is what separates you. But you get a feel whether you have that mentality, whether or not you have the physical skills, and whether you can stay healthy. I mean, we played 18 games last year with Manny and JJ and Scope and Davis, 18. And it's an excuse, and we don't talk about it. It's part of the challenges you make. But despite every one of those teams, our last team standing, have been real lucky with their health. And knock on wood, we hope that we can.
When you go into a season, are you looking for a mentality right from the get-go? Are you trying to put the pieces together, the individual players, to have that?
Oh, sure. And it doesn't start with the coaches and managers, and it starts with the players. It's about the players and what they choose to be important. Where are they in their life and in their career, and the culture that they create. And there's no panic. In the spring, I know we were. I guess we were 0 and whatever. You probably know we didn't, but our guys knew what spring training was about. And the last thing they need to see is a manager or a coach or somebody in panic mode. It's about trust, and you earn it every day. But our guys know what the end game here is, not to be a 500 team. We've left that. It's not good enough. We know what is a good season and where we want to be.
Well, Buck Showalter is. Helped lead this Orioles team to the most wins in the American League with the 365 since 2012. So he has certainly set the standard here. This team, the nucleus of this team, they've learned how to win together. So that's one of the hurdles you have to cross if you want to make it to the postseason and ultimately win a World Series championship. Believe in yourself and learn that culture of winning. And they have that established here. I think Buck alluded to the games last year, 18 games with this Gold Glove infield. You're going to have the injuries. The whole organization gets tested, and Buck's had to do that the last 4 seasons. I think they have a pretty good team on the field right now.
When we come back, we'll talk with the manager who did it, who won the championship in the 2nd year, going to the World Series consecutively. Ned Yost when we come back. By Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by T-Mobile, get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Back here at Kauffman Stadium, they celebrate a World Championship, handing out for the first 20,000 fans tonight a small replica of the championship trophy. Last year, they won 95 games, 95 and 67. There was their postseason, Astros, Blue Jays, and then the 4-1 World Series over the Mets. 30 years since they had last won a World Series championship. Their manager, Ned Yost, what his ball club learned to get there.
The lesson that these guys learned is that, you can tell them they're good, and they can believe they're good, but until they believe it in their heart, you just can't get there. And after that wild card game, they believed in their heart that they were good, and they've been a different team ever since.
Ned, last question. You were just talking about this. It's more than just looking at somebody hit or field in deciding who you want on your ball club and what it's going to look like. You talked with us about the person inside.
Well, makeup and character is very important to us. And, when we sign free agents or even, amateur free agents, we do extensive, homework on their character, because that's very, very important to us. Our chemistry, we feel, is a big key to our club, and we will not bring anybody in here that will disrupt that chemistry. We won't bring anybody in here that takes away from that chemistry in terms of selfishness or whatever it is. And our group is extremely close. We have 25 guys all on the same page. We have 25 guys that fight to the end and never stop believing, never stop competing till the last out is made. We have 25 guys that go out and play their heart out every single day. And they play to win. They don't play for individual stats. They play for team stats. And the biggest stat that you can have is wins. And I think that's the big part of our success. We're aggressive, yes. We're athletic, yes. Do we have an approach that you want to try to teach young kids? We're up hacking, but we don't strike out. So we have tremendous pitching. We have a dynamite bullpen, and you put all that together and special things happen.
Well, they do have great team chemistry. It showed up over the last 2 seasons, back-to-back World Series appearances. But, I think a lot of the chemistry was built by some of the younger players that came up together that they had been waiting on for a few years. Moustakas and Hosmer really have stepped up the last 2 seasons and been productive on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. They are game changers on the corners.
And it's not that easy. Both talking with Buck and Ned, all players, all people who have been involved in any sport know that winning a championship is harder than ever in every single sport, including baseball, because the seasons are so long, the mental drain, the physical drain of going to a World Series, of winning it, and then the off season that is so short, and you find yourself right back at it again.
Yeah, right. I mean, there are just so many things that can happen along the way. It's impressive that the Royals have gotten to the World Series 2 years in a row. So hard to do. But you know what? They have a great young nucleus, and I think that's important. The same with the Orioles. It's a group of guys that have been together for a while. They believe in winning. They've raised the bar very high, just like the Royals have. And that's why I think they're going to be competitive and successful for, a number of years going ahead.
Bench coach Don Wakamatsu, I was talking with him before the game. He's the bench coach of the Kansas City Royals. He said, I've been in this game now 30-something years. He said, I'd never been there. I'd never made it to a World Series. He said, I could not believe what it was like. That's Don right behind the photographer. There's Don on the right there. He said, I couldn't believe what it was like. I still get chills. He said, when I think about the parade and the championship.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing and so rare and such a unique experience to go through. And when you look back over a season that you made it to the World Series, just the total package, the grind that it takes, the preparation in the off season, the spring training, trying to come together, and it's pretty exciting when you can really reach that climax and make it to the World Series.
And the Orioles want to do that real soon. Take a look at our BGE home game time temperature. Beautiful day here. It's 78 degrees to start this ball game. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Record at the top: Machado, Jones, and Davis, Trumbo, Wieters, and Hardy. Scope and Young-Soo Kim will get a start in left field. His first start since the 13th of this month. Still on top, the Oriole leadoff batter, 21 hits, leading rookies.
Now let's take a look at Chris Medlin's pitch arsenal this season. He works off a two-seam fastball, control pitcher all the way. But this year, 8 walks, 4 in each game. He has the breaking ball, is the curveball, and a real good changeup with the quality arm cell. Had 2 starts this year. His first start pushed back, so he didn't make that opening start until the 14th of April. He's come away with 1 win, a nice low earned run average, 2.38. Holding opponents down to just a .211 batting average. Ground ball pitcher, 59% on the ground.
And against the Orioles, his 4th appearance, his 2nd start. He is 1-0 against the Orioles. He made his first start as a Royal against the Orioles last August 24. He gave up 3 runs, 5 hits, 6 innings. We got the victory in that ball game. So the 30-year-old right-hander takes the mound against the Orioles, who are 10-5, starting the day 2.5 games ahead in the American League East. Kansas City 11-5. They are a half game ahead in their division. Joey Rickard will lead it off. Rickard had one of those ball games you're going to have in baseball, 4 Ks.
Yeah, tough night for Joey. All year long he's been putting the ball in play with some quality ABs. Who knows, could have been that travel.
Moustakas in at third base, and we're underway. Pitch will be taken at the knees for a strike. Rickard had another hit streak ended at 6 in the ball game last night, and looks to get another one started here in this one. Medlin, who likes to work quickly, gets the ground ball, a 5-hopper to Escobar. And get it over in time for the out.
We'll take a look at the Royals defense behind Medlin tonight. Gordon, Kane, and Dyson in this Royals outfield. Escobar and Infante. Double play combination up the middle. Moustakas and Hosmer on the corners, and Perez once again behind the plate. This is a Gold Glove caliber defense. Should see a lot of great plays here in this series.
Manny Machado at .397 on top in the average department, and a lot of others. Extended his hit streak to 15 games in the ball game last night. So continues to move up on Davey Johnson's mark with the Orioles in Baltimore, which is 17 hits in consecutive games to start a year. And that one will be taken.
Well, Manny Machado was able to extend that streak. 15-game hitting streak, best of his career, and he's doing it in a major way with home runs and doubles. 13 extra base hits this year already.
That takes care of that one. He's got 16. Manny Machado gets a single in his first time up, and a 16-game hit streak, now only 1 behind Davey Johnson.
Well, Manny Machado seems to be targeting the big part of the field, staying hard to the middle, especially early in ball games. Coming up with a nice clean base hit. Body turn, hands come inside, keeps them tight. Get most power when your hands are closer to the body. Nice tight rotation there.
Leading the team with 26 hits on the year. That'll bring Adam Jones to the plate. Adam had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. He has faced Medlin in a game and went 3 for 4 with a home run against him. So Adams had some great success in one ball game against the 30-year-old right-hander. Medlin is a pronounced ground ball pitcher. 59% of the outs recorded this year have been on ground balls. He'll look for the double play here. Swing and a miss, throttle back to 83.
Nice little breaking ball right there. And command is certainly the key to Medlin, and command of all 3 of his pitches. So he'll be around the strike zone. Typically challenge hitters, work fast. It should be a nice matchup tonight. Wilson works the same way for the Orioles.
Has been hittable out of the stretch more so than when in the windup. That'll go to short. Escobar bobbles. Ew, what a pick at first by Hosmer. Should have been a double play. Escobar, though, couldn't get the handle on it. They do get the out at first base. Manny Machado to second.
Yeah, almost the rare double error by one player here. Escobar couldn't quite handle the double play ball. I don't know if it kicked up on him or just tried to be a little too quick, but nice recovery. Spiked the ball at first, and Hosmer with another Gold Glove pick.
That was a whipsaw move over there at first base, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He was digging a well. All right, Chris Davis up. Chris with the 0 for 4 last night. Runner on at second base now. The Orioles went 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the ball game last night, where they'd love to get on the board early here in this ball game. Let's see how much longer Medlin has to go in this inning. He should be on the bench right now.
Right.
But he's got to work, and when you give major league teams that extra out, which is what KC's done, oftentimes you pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely an opportunity spoiled there for a double play ball.
A good lead at second. He's stealing. Throw down, and again I ask why? Why? That's twice this year. Chris Davis has been left at the plate, bat in hand, with a runner at second in scoring position, both times Manny, both times trying to steal third. Why? Orioles a chance in that first inning, goes by the boards. Only 3 batters faced. Let's take a look at the lineup for Kansas City. It'll be Escobar, Moustakas, and Kane, Hosmer, Morales, and Gordon, Perez, Infante, and Dyson. Mike Moustakas with a 5-game hit streak and some big hits during the streak.
Now let's take a look at Tyler Wilson's pitch arsenal this season. All of it coming out of the bullpen. First start of the year for Wilson. Fastball 62% of the time. Great command of that fastball, 2-seam it, cut it at times. Breaking ball, hard slider, and the change 12% of the time. He's a control pitcher as well. He'll be all around the dish. 1.13 earned run average in his work out of the bullpen. See, holding opponents down to just a 200 overall batting average.
And ready to go to Escobar. Jumps on that first pitch. Manny Machado up, foul territory. Throw, and he got him. A little redemption right away by Machado at third base as Escobar, aggressive as always, went after it.
Yeah, pretty impressive play here by Manny Machado. So how about the focus? He does not think about that stolen base attempt in the first inning, making that third out at third base here. They're showing the great range, and how about the arm strength from one knee? Perfect toss by Manny.
So Wilson gets help right away from the defense. Here is Mike Moustakas. That 5-game hit streak extended last night. He went 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. Tyler Wilson out of Charlottesville, Virginia. He is 26 years old. In the minors, he never worked out of the bullpen. He had 88 starts in the minors. He went 32 and 24, 4+ years at the minor league level. Had good numbers. He had almost 50 more innings pitched than he had hits surrendered. He is a control pitcher. He was voted by Baseball America as having the best control of any pitcher in the Orioles organization. So he's going to be around the dish. 1-1 delivery on the way. Breaking ball and a good one in there for a strike.
Yeah, and the ability to mix up all 3 of his pitches. It's very rare to find a pitcher who has plus command with all 3 offerings.
Moustakas, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Shift on in the dirt.
Now let's take a look at this Orioles defense behind Wilson tonight. Kim getting the start in left field. Adam Jones in center. Joey Rickard moving over to right tonight. Hardy and Scope will be up the middle. Machado and Davis on the corners. And Matt Wieters will be the backstop.
2 ball, 2 strike count. And that'll be taken down low. Oh, in there. Count goes 3-2. So a full count. Moustakas to be followed by Kane. Wilson with just the 2 walks in the 8 innings worked in relief for the Orioles this season. Lorenzo Cain waiting on deck. Outfield, a little bit of sunshine in center. Could be tough on Adam Jones, and a ball hit behind him. That'll be fouled off the other way. It's a big house tonight at KC. When we came in on the team bus today, there were thousands of people lined up at the gate waiting to get in because the first 20,000 got that replica trophy of the World Championship trophy. There was tailgating going on. I mean, there were thousands of people there hours before the game.
Yeah, like 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was just packed. 3-2. And Wilson gets it in. The ground ball will go to Machado. Gets the good hop. And over to Davis to record the out. Now let's take it our American League leaders, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
This is not the category you want to be leading in or close to leading. Most runs allowed in the first inning this season. The Orioles with 13 runs. The Astros, boy, 23. That's a big number. Marlins, Phillies up ahead of the Orioles, but they get tagged early, find themselves behind, and to their credit, the offense battles back, but it's been an uphill battle many games for this Orioles team.
Looking for a good first inning here, and the pitch will be taken. Lorenzo Cain. Cain's got a 3-game hit streak extended last night with a 1-for-4. A couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. It's a bit of a slow start for him. Quality hitter, real good speed, good breaking ball that'll have him chasing as he missed away, but he missed it, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
That's a nasty pitch there. Great late action.
Again, the Orioles with an infield backed up. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that one will be chopped foul. He almost hit that one off the ground. Brian Mattis is back with the Orioles, and of course Devontae Gallardo started last night back in Baltimore. Shoulder biceps tendonitis is what they're calling it. Like Showalter said, it's not acute pain or anything. It wasn't like he's feeling acute pain. General weakness there. 1-2 pitch on the way, and he got him. Boy, did he foul ball. He moved that one around. He had gone away twice and then came up. Cain was leaning out and almost took that pitch on the hand.
Yeah, real good fastball. 94 miles an hour, just riding hard up and in. And this is defense taking it right out of Weeder's glove there.
Real good location by Wilson. 1-2. And that one a little bit outside. Laz Diaz, our home plate umpire. Corey Blazer, Jeff Nelson, who was the crew chief, Doug Eddings. The home plate umpire Diaz, historically, probably a little more to the hitters' like than the pitchers.
Well, he was right there on that last pitch.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
2-2. Wilson after the clean inning. Looks like he'll get it. Short hop. The play made by Hardy over to Davis, and he does. 3 ground ball outs. So both pitchers get through the first inning, facing only 3. We'll go to the second. Davis will lead it off. game. Caitlin Plummer from Cumberland, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. You can play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Good luck, Caitlin. This is a night where we may see some home runs. There is Chris Davis. Will lead it off, bat in hand, when Manny tried to steal third and was caught stealing.
Frustrating. You get your power hitter up there. Manny making that third out over there. He's going to be talked to about that for sure.
And he gets a hold of that one to left field. Going back on it is Gordon. Gordon looking, and goodbye, home run. Davis delivers the long ball. And the Orioles are on the board with a 1-0 lead as he shot that one into the bleachers out in left field for his 6th.
That's a pretty impressive swing right there by Chris Davis. 6th home run of the year. Going to show that kind of pop going the other way in one of the biggest ballparks in the game today. Whew.
12th RBI for the Orioles first baseman. First home run surrendered by Medlin, and this is 3rd start of the year. And here is Trumbo. He will take the pitch for a strike.
Let's take a look at this Chris Davis bomb on the Mercedes pitch track. Ball ends up center cut, but down at the bottom of the zone, right in the swing path. Davis goes down there aggressively, and that ball is backspun with incredible trajectory there. Wow.
They marked that at 402 feet, and Mark Trumbo told me before the game, ball's going to carry a lot better tonight than it did last night. He said, we was taking BP, and he said it is carrying better. It's because it's much warmer than it was last night. And so in batting practice, he in particular, Mark Trumbo, was just crunching stuff up into the waterfalls out there in left field. Chris Davis must have heard him. Takes advantage of the warm weather and puts one out. We'll show you the numbers on this ballpark. This Kansas City team is tailor-made for it. 1-2 delivery on the way, and Trumbo will go down swinging.
A pretty nasty slider right there. Short, late bite. Take a look at the Mercedes pitch track here, and look at the late bite at the end on the slider.
See how this ballpark does not surrender much. Last season in the American League, the fewest home runs were hit here. Triples, 2nd highest. Batting average, 4th highest. Runs, 6th lowest. And the ERA, 6th highest. This Kansas City team built on speed, gap hitters, doubles, triples, built for this yard.
Yeah, well, it's a huge park in the sense that, all right, 410 to center field, but then it stays deep all the way to the gaps where it's 387, and it doesn't tighten up until the corners.
That's into the sun in center. Kane looks as though he sees it. Does. Matt Wieters is retired, and there are 2 down. Don't miss the final chance to earn exclusive orange carpet benefits with a full or partial season plan. Great savings over a single game ticket cost, the most flexible exchange policy in baseball. You can find out about it at Orioles.com/season or call 888-848-BIRD. So Medlin with 2 down faced J.J. Hardy. J.J. had a 2 for 4 in the ball game last night and an RBI. Orioles were held to only 5 hits last night. That's the fewest they've had in a ball game this season.
Yeah, their offense has been very consistent. Bottom third, some recent struggles. J.J. Hardy's been slid up into that 6th hole a few times, and he's actually been swinging the bat very well.
Hardy gives the Orioles some real thump offensively in that bottom 3, which most teams don't have. That ball is going to miss, and the count goes to 3-0 from Medlin. Hitters last year hit 252 off Medlin. Pretty tough to get to. 3-0 delivery on the way, and he walks it. Oh, JJ just stood there and watched on that one. There wasn't anything close.
What's wrong with that?
So Hardy is on with a free pass. This ball club, as with all teams, absolutely hates giving up. Dave Island, pitching coach, doing a lot of pacing over there.
Right.
They count on their staff to get it done. KC does. That's how they win ball games.
They've
Pitching,
been doing it.
defense, speed.
Yeah, they have been doing it this year. Starting rotation has been outstanding.
Jonathan Scope wants to hit as much as anybody on this ball club right now. Trying to get out of an 0 for 17 that he's in. He continued it last night with an 0 for 3. But Jonathan has seen a serious dip in that batting average come during this 0 for period. You haven't had enough at bats. You can go through a string like this without seeing your batting average really drop. It doesn't take a lot of 0 to do it.
Yeah, well, Jonathan was out early today. Hitting coach Scott Coolbaugh working on that swing, an early batting practice. See if that extra work pays off tonight.
1-1 delivery on the way. Got a good rip at that. Fouls it back.
Take a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers. Chris Medlin's pitching splits home and road. Last year was when he came to Kansas City, or signed a 2-year deal after spending most of 2014 on the deal with Tommy John, and some home struggles. 6.99 earned run average at home, but on the road just 1.52. A lot of that possibly come from the fact that he was just coming off Tommy John surgery, so those numbers may be exaggerated a little bit, but he's looking to try to settle in here at home and use this park to his benefit.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Hardy a short lead at first, and the pitch will be taken up high. So making Medlin work here with a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Kansas City has beaten the Orioles in this ballpark 8 of the last 9 times that these two teams have met here at Kauffman. Orioles trying to get out of that little funk in this ballpark. Scope down to first and foul. They come back with that 2-2 count.
I like that. Not trying to do too much right there, letting that baseball come to him. And good hitters end up getting jammed because they try to let that ball travel a little bit further. Pulls the hands inside, keeps the at bat alive with a nice foul ball on the right field line.
He's had good numbers against KC, young career, hitting .283 against Kansas City pitching, and he's got it. Base hit, so the extra work indeed does pay off. That'll get him out of the 0 for, and more importantly for the Orioles, puts runners on at first and second, keeps the inning alive.
There you go. Scott Coolbaugh not showing a lot of emotion, but certainly appreciates the work these guys put in, and trying to make themselves as good as possible. And Jonathan Scope, good to see a smile on his face.
Well, let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of it. Young-Soon Kim getting the start in left field. His last start came on the 13th of the month, as Buck Showalter continues to try and get him in. 4th game he has appeared in, only 6 at bats. He has picked up 3 hits, all singles, and he's going to loop one to left field. He's got another base hit. That'll bring around Hardy. There's no play, and it's an RBI. So Kim delivers on the looping line drive, and his first major league RBI is in the books.
A nice little 2-out rally right here. A walk by J.J. Hardy. Jonathan Scope ending his slump, and how about Kim pulling the hands inside, finding some outfield grass. Kane playing a little deep, ball dies in front of him, and J.J. Hardy with a good secondary lead, uncontested. He scores.
So the Orioles couple on here in the inning on the Davis home run and another walk that they convert into a run. A 2-out walk to Hardy results in that second run. Rickard at the top of the order, grounded out his first time up, and will take the pitch inside for a ball. So the Orioles, after going 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the ball game last night, come away with an opportunity here, and Kim delivers. Are 2 down. 1-0 delivery by Medlin, and a check on it. It'll miss away. He's falling behind on hitters here, working from behind.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think this Orioles offense kind of has some history as far as being an aggressive team. So trying to get some chases early in a count with some borderline pitches, but falling behind.
That one will be taken. Joey Rickard going to make him work here. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Outfield bit to right, and the center and right move in. Kane and Dyson are in a few steps where they would normally play. real good lead for Jonathan Scope at second base. They're not trying to hold him. Breaking ball is in there at 83. Rickard had time to step up in the box on that one, but decided not to go after it.
Well, you know, you appreciate Joey Rickard's eye and his patience, but when you have two outs and a slider comes up like that, kind of staying on the same plane, better be ready to hit. You don't get many of those.
Rickard will put that one up in the air. Kane started back, slows down. He was almost right where he needed to be. And we'll put it away. The Orioles, however, are going to pick up a couple of runs on 3 hits. Inning started. Chris Davis, home run number 6. That put the Orioles up 1-0, and they added another. Lead as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Loving April in our Major League notebook. The Cubs are 13-4, best record in the majors, tying their second best start in 100 years. The A's, they've won 6 out of their last 7. They did lose today, so that ends their road streak. Now 7-1 on the road. And for Bryce Harper, leading the National League in home runs, RBIs, slugging, and probably most talked about so far in the first month of the season. Yeah, well, Manny and Bryce Harper, former teammates on USA team, both dominating their divisions. Yep, the 3 names: Trout, Harper, Manny Machado, all over the place here in this first month of the 2016 season. Eric Hosmer leading it off. That'll be a slow roller. Wilson, a good break off the mound, won't need to get there though. Save it'll play it, gets the out, and Hosmer's down. Well, still time for you to take advantage of the best family value at Camden Yards, the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. Kids 14 and under. The options include a choice of 2 6-game packages. Lots of benefits go with it, and friends and family can get tickets to those Dugout Club games for as little as $6 with lower level seating options available. Go to Orioles.com/Dugout Club. Lots of young fans on hand here, and that one for the Orioles. Pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Morales, the DH, switch hitter. Enters Morales, 1 for 4 and an RBI in the ball game last night at 259 now on the year. Shift in the infield all the way around, and Morales will take that one for a strike. Morales has always put up the big numbers against the Orioles. Dangerous hitter, 357 career average, 6 homers, 35 RBIs in 43 games against the Orioles. 1-1 delivery to him. That's headed right into the shift. Jonathan Scope in right field makes the play, and there are 2 down. Caption this. Check out @Masson Orioles on Instagram and provide your best caption for this photo. Mike has worked on this all night. Yes. 3 commentators are going to win an autographed Orioles prize pack and the Green Turtle gift card. Watch every O's game with us, and the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill hang local. Give us a caption out there, sports fans. Don't say where's Waldo. 2 down, nobody on. Gordon coming up and an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. He'll take that one to left field. Coming hard, Kim. That's going to fall in front for a base hit. 2-out single.
Well, not a bad pitch by Wilson. Kind of a jam shot out in the left field. Take a look at Kim. Not a lot of playing time this year in the outfield. He wrangles that little ground ball, keeping Gordon at first base.
Oh, Alex Gordon on with 2 away. Salvador Perez, the catcher, he had an 0 for last night. Ended up going 0 for 3. Gordon has 1 stolen base. The one time he tried, not a big lead at first, held by Davis. Wilson's delivery to him. Oh, he got that one. Left field, Kim going back at the wall, and goodbye, home run. Off the waterfall. Number 4 for Perez. Tie game.
Sometimes that happens when you're aggressive in the strike zone. Perez picking the right pitch. Tie it up. 4th home run of the year. Take a look at this offering. Fastball. That inner third. Oh, wow. Hips clear. This bat path right to the baseball. He knows it on contact.
Measured at 4:08. And it's a 2-2 ball game. And again, as the Orioles did, the Royals do it with 2 down. And the pitch will be in there for a strike. Omar Infante, Royals second baseman, 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. That .269 good average coming into the ball game. So Wilson surrenders the first home run of the year. Some question about whether or not it's being called a spot start. Is it really? Or is he in the rotation?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be sent down with Kevin Gausman coming back onto the roster Monday?
Yeah, a lot of question marks here. Tyler Wilson's going to try to force Buck's hand to keep him here. TJ McFarland, an outstanding job last night. Wilson wants to pitch good enough to make Buck say, well, we got to keep him around. And he has already out of the bullpen, and I think there's incredible value to the Orioles long men this year. I mean, I think most teams are going to be challenged with that. The bridge guys to the back end of the bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that ball up in the air to left field. Kim trying to get a line on it, going back, and makes the catch. A couple of steps shy of the scoreboard wall. So the Royals pick up a couple of runs on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on. It's Perez's home run, 4th of the year, that makes it a 2-2 game. forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tied at 2-2. Kim has had an RBI base hit and records the final out on that one. We will take a look as we have a chance in our ball game around the American League East. Ball games that have been played today as the season in earnest now, with starters getting their third, fourth start going around. Kevin Gausman back in the rotation, what they hope is going to be for the duration, a lengthy stay. No more up and down, no more in and out. Showalter saying it's time. He feels good. He's ready, and we want him in the rotation for the long term.
Could be a big lift for the rotation.
Pitch is taken down low for a ball. Manny Machado, 16-game hit streak, base hit in the first inning for Manny. Down to third. It is a fair ball. Moustakis with a moo chant. Well, in our Major League Notebook on our East Winds page, here's what it looks like. The Yankees defeated the Rays 3-2 today. Tanaka, strong 7 innings. Gardner got the walk-off, a solo home run, and their bullpen got the win. Blue Jays beat the A's 9-3. Happ Toronto, solid performance. He's 3-0. Tulowitzki had 2 home runs in that ball game for the Jays. And the Astros beat Boston. Buchholz roughed up a little bit. He's 0-2. Altuve 3 for 5, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored as the Stros beat the Sox. So there's our East Winds page on games completed. And a breaking ball in the dirt to Adam Jones. Adam grounded out his first time up. 1 hit, 5 at bats in the first 2 games. 1-0 pitch by Medlin will ride inside. Pulled the hands back in and got away 2-0.
Yeah, many times just for effect with that pitch. Pretty good life as it takes off up and in on Adam Jones, but we've seen the quality of that slider. He may be targeting that outer third.
Jones goes after that one and can't catch up. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Adam. Adam trying to get the numbers pushed up a little bit.
Yeah, change up. Getting by Adam Jones there. Like he recognized it, but maybe a little fade on the end.
Couple of doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs for the Orioles center fielder. Medlin will always try and get you to chase. And he's ahead in the count, or it's even on that pitch away for the right-handers. 3-ball, 1-strike count. And another one that's going to be outside. So for the Orioles, their patience has paid off at a couple of walks. The first one to Hardy, he would score on it in the second inning.
Kind of uncharacteristically, Medlin some problems with the command. 4 walks in his first start, 4 walks in his second start, and now 2 walks here in the early part of this ball game. The Orioles can wait him out and give him some more base runners.
1 down, Davis up. Chris delivered a home run, his 6th, leading off the second inning off Medlin. And the pitch will miss for a ball. For Chris, that's his 10th home run against Kansas City pitching in his career, and 6 of the 10 have been hit here in, as we said, a tough ballpark in which to generate the long ball. Not far off the bag. Jones back with a hop step.
Well, Chris Davis doesn't get a lot of cheap home runs, that's for sure. Matter of fact, the ones that were going to be cheapies for him last year got taken away. He had like 4 or 5 robbed
in a row, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And that pitch is going to be taken inside. So again, Medlin struggling here. That strike zone. He's behind again, 2-0. One thing the Orioles had going into the ball game yesterday, they did not have anybody in the top 10 in strikeouts. When's the last time we said that? Not.
Impressive.
Yeah. And the pitch will be taken down low again, and that's going to bring Perez out. It's not like what he's seeing here as Medlin's just off the mark. These aren't pitches that are close. It's not about the calls being made by the umpire. It's just not there.
Yeah, maybe being a little too fine. Perez probably trying to get him back into the strike zone. to trust your stuff. Don't let these big guys scare you out of the zone. Of course, Chris Davis can put the fear into anybody. This inning, 8 balls out of his 10 pitches thrown. So he's lost the feel right now. Perez trying to get it back into the groove with that mound visit.
This may be one to drive on a 3-0 count. Davis up the middle, and that's going to hit the bag and go into shallow right field. Adam Jones will make the turn. He'll end up at third, throw into second, and the Orioles cover the corners here with only 1 away. Chris Davis literally gets the base hit.
There you go. I'd like to see that. 3-0 green light. Not trying to do too much. Hard to the middle. A little luck there. It's the base. I think it would have gotten through anyway, but kicks out in this big outfield. Adam Jones walks on into third base.
Well, the Orioles with a chance to add to it. A little smile over there with Hosmer at first base. I'm sure giving him a little what for. Big power hitter like you, driving the ball off the bag. Come on.
All right. Good clean living right there.
That's right. All right, Mark Trumbo gets the chance. Trumbo, a strikeout victim his first time up. Mark's got a 7-game hit streak going. First and third, only 1 away. Infield double play. Depth up the middle and another base hit. Trumbo delivers the single. Jones will score. Kane will hold the runner at second, and the Orioles go back on top 3-2 in the Trumbo RBI.
Another walk crossing the plate. A nice hitting by the heart of this order. Both Trumbo and Davis hard back through the box, just off Medlin's right hip. Crisp single. And Jones trotting on in.
12 RBIs now for Mark Trumbo. He and Chris Davis lead the Orioles with a dozen each in runs batted in. Still only 1 away, first and second. Here's Matt Wieters. Matt flied to center first time up. The off-speed delivery is in there for a strike. So the Orioles with 3 runs on 6 hits off Medlin, with only 1 away here in the top of the 3rd inning. Runner close at second. The 0-1 delivery swung on and missed. Again stayed back at the 83-mile-an-hour pitch. Our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Oh, how about the on-base percentage? Baltimore Orioles leading the American League with a .342 on-base percentage. They'll average .310. So a lot of patient at bats. Davis taking his walks. Machado, Rickard. Been a nice philosophy here in the early going.
That ball up in the air, not deep. Shortstop Escobar backing up. Infield fly rule. 2 down. Orioles 2 for 4 now with runners in scoring position. Medlin gets a big out. It'll bring up J.J. Hardy. J.J. the chance here with 2 away. Orioles have been outstanding this season. Early on here in the first 3 weeks, they've been on top or close to it in the 2-out RBI department. And obviously those are big because they're not easy to get. Davis off second base, Trumbo off first, a run in on the Trumbo single. And the pitch will be taken outside for a ball. A.J. Hardy, solid numbers. 280, a couple of RBIs. Getting on base. He had that walk with 2 down in the 2nd inning. And Kim, a couple of batters later, brought him home with a base hit. 1-0 pitch by Medlin. That one put up in the air down the line and left. Gordon over and makes a nice catch in foul territory. Orioles pick up a run. A couple of hits, no errors, 2 left on. Orioles regain the lead at 3-2. Been brought to you by Southwest Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. And by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. I hope that's barbecue. After all, we are in Kansas City. 3-2 Orioles lead. Tyler Wilson comes out to pitch. Take this, Mike.
Love this. Tyler got some routines going on. He believes in. He's one of the very few that wears the stirrups. First the pants up.
Yep.
And have to ask him about that little jump. Might be something just to remind him to keep those legs activated. Pitchers really rely on the legs. As he gets going, he kind of gets into his knees a little bit.
And his first pitch will be in there for a strike. Jared Dyson, number 9 hitter, had a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Speedster brings Machado in on the grass. Davis even with a bag at first. And that one is going to miss down low. Dyson out the first 12 games and most of spring training. The oblique problem. Back in the lineup, adding yet more speed to this running Kansas City team. 1-1 delivery. Little breaking ball. That's foul. So Wilson will get ahead of him. A ball and 2 strikes. Dyson's a second player. He's a really good outfielder too. I mean, on the bases he's outstanding, but he plays a good right field.
Sure does. Versatile enough to play center as well. And as he steps into the box, he puts pressure on everybody on the field.
2-strike count. They can back up. 1-2 delivery and a chopper. Fair. Wieters. Plenty of time and gets it. Leadoff man retired in all 3 innings by Wilson. Well, the arch rival Yankees are coming to Baltimore. They will be in the yard May 3 to begin a 3-game midweek series. You can paint the park orange for this classic battle. Good seats remain. Get them at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. That's a series on May 3. 3, 4, and 5 against the Yankees. 1 down. Here's Escobar. Grounded out. Fine play made by Manny Machado to deny him a hit down the line. Play made tougher by the fact Escobar is also quick. So Machado has to play in a little closer than he would otherwise. Yeah. Not a lot of reaction time.
That's right. The speed brings you in to protect for the bunt. And when Manny made that diving play down the line, see him a lot of times come up on his feet.
Inside corner will be taken for a strike.
But on that play, he had to stay on the one knee and throw across the field. Enough time to come all the way up.
Escobar, leadoff batter, takes it down low. He has collected 39 leadoff hits in that leadoff spot since the start of last year. He and Jose Altuve tied for 3rd in the American League in leadoff hitters getting on base beginning a ball game. 1-2 count from Wilson. And an over-the-top breaking ball did not go. Barry Blazer down at first.
Good try. Escobar still shaking his head on this breaking ball, reaching out. Very close there. Wieters and home plate umpire Las Diaz pointing down.
Last time Matt had a check swing. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
2-ball, 2-strike count. He got thrown out. 2-2 delivery. He got him. Ate him up. He was not looking for that pitch location, and he got jammed.
Well, this is an amazing movement. Look at the life on this changeup. It just takes off. That ball moves about 3 feet in under the hands of Escobar, and that's the kind of swing you get when you have that kind of movement.
Well, Tyler Wilson gets his first strikeout, 2 down, 3rd inning. That'll bring Moustakas up. As a starter for Wilson, 5 starts last year, 1-2, a 4.32 ERA. Ground ball down to the shift. Jonathan Scope from right field. And that'll do it. Good inning. Wilson in control in that inning. We completed 3. Orioles up by 1. You buy the RAV4 Hybrid all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Gary Thornton and Mike Bordick here in KC. The Orioles trying to even it up after the 4-2 loss last night. It's a long season. It's like a merry-go-round. Round and round, up and down.
See what you get if you win the World Series?
What?
You get that if you win the World Series.
Wow, you get a merry-go-round?
You get a merry-go-round.
See, now that alone is worth winning the World Series. Have a merry-go-round.
That's nice.
Very nice. Medlin has walked 2, strikeout 1. Wilson, no walks, 1 strikeout. 3-6-0 for the Orioles, 2-2-0 for the Royals. Davis, a home run, his 6th. Kim, an RBI base hit. Trumbo, an RBI single. 2-run homer by Salvador Perez for the Royals. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Jonathan Schoop, Kim, and then Rickard at the top of the order. Schoop with a base hit. His first time up. Part of that 2-run 3-hit inning. Wrinkle on that one at 84, 101.
Yeah, nice change. Definitely have to get Medlin up. It's like the Royals have to get Wilson up. Jonathan Schoop smoking a base hit in his first at bat to get out of extended little slump.
Going to get another one. Both of them have been to left field. He got that one up. And it was hanging for him, and he did not let it go by. 2 for 2. Our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you.
Now let's take a look at David Hess, right-handed pitcher, just 22 years old. 5th-round pick back in 2014, and getting off to a solid start. 3.38 earned run average, 16 innings pitched, and 13 punch-outs. Only 3 walks. Very good fastball. Signed low 90s with that heater, hard slider as well. With the out pitch, he's got it working this year.
Orioles have had the leadoff man 2 out of 4 innings. That helps the cause. Down to first, just fouled. Kim. RBI base hit by Young-Soo Kim in his first time up.
Well, we talked about Jonathan Schoop coming out early today for batting practice and picking up a couple hits. Well, every chance there's early batting practice. Kim's out there as well, not getting a lot of playing time, trying to make the adjustments to the major league level. His numbers don't show that he's struggling at all. Already lofty batting average in his limited playing time.
That's really hard to do, huh? When you're not getting at bats.
Wow, it is.
It's like pinch hitting. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Buck Showalter trying always, as he always does, keep players in the ball game, involved with the club. Parts of 10 seasons playing in South Korea. Had a career .318 average there. 4-time Gold Glove winner. And now with the Orioles on the 2-year deal. Orioles wanted him to go down to the minor leagues. He refused. So Buck's got to work him in as he can to help the team here.
Yeah, trying to get his at bats in the batting cage and making his BP sessions more game-like experiences.
1-2 is there, and he got him. So Medlin will get his second strikeout on a look.
Kim not liking this call on the breaking ball. Take a look at the pitch track. Breaking ball in the bottom of the box there. Very borderline as it was received from Perez.
Looked like he almost picked it off the plate.
Yeah, very low.
So Kim back to the bench. 1 away. Schoop on first. Back to the base. Record up. He has grounded out and flied out. Obviously with a great start, still up there among the leaders, not just in rookies, but in the American League overall offensively. And there's another one of those breaking balls. 85 miles an hour. 83, 84, 85 with movement.
Yeah, and the command, you know, the ability to throw it any time in the count. I think with Rickard, he's already getting kind of a scouting report on him as far as taking pitches. Be nice getting their heads a little bit, jump on some first pitches.
That'll go to short. Escobar, Infante. I don't think so. They did not realize Rickard's speed on that. That was a little nonchalant at second base, trying to turn the double play.
Yeah, just waited back a little too long on this. The Escobar onto Infante, and just a little too patient there. Not in any rush, no urgency, but Rickard always quick out of the box. When he starts his swing, that back foot comes around, and he's already got a half step going. He'll beat it out and keep this inning going, and the Orioles have been doing a nice job with 2 outs this year.
Probably a little quicker work. That should have been a double play, and arguably that's 2 double plays that have not been turned by a very good Kansas City defense. No error or anything, just didn't get it done. Manny Machado gets a shot as a result, and Rickard is back to the bag. Orioles not expected to do a lot of running this season, and they haven't. They have picked up 4 stolen bases in 6 chances, and those 4 spread among 4 different players this year. Rickard is one of them. Ooh, good toss over right into the glove of Hosmer, who had it right on the back of Rickard going back in.
Yeah, nice job by Hosmer to anticipate, just leave that glove deep, let the ball travel a little bit, caught it right on Rickard's backside.
Advantage of that left-handed first baseman, always talked about in plays like that, and on making throws to second for a double play. 2 down. Machado waiting to look at a pitch. He has singled and grounded out. 16-game hit streak, and he will take the pitch in the dirt. Perez got away and didn't get the read. So Rickard could have easily made it to second base on that one, but just didn't see it.
Yeah, sometimes a very tough read, depending on where the ball kicks away. Here, Perez thinking it's going to be close, and it was, but he kicks it. So it's on the same line as Rickard, Perez, and the ball. Rickard can't see the ball, so he holds tight.
1-0 count. Extending the lead a little. Pretty good cat and mouse game going on over here with Medlin. Not a lot of base stealing against Medlin in his career. Last year only base stealers were 3 out of 4. So not a lot of chances taken against him. 1-0 count. Runner not going. Check swing, and the pitch is away. So again, how many 2-0 counts have we seen from Medlin to the Oriole hitters?
Yeah, he's fallen behind. He's gotten himself in some trouble. Some good hitters counts, and shown some nice patience here in the early part of this ball game.
2-0 delivery. That one drilled to left field, but Gordon misjudged it. Over his head, runner going. Can he make it? Rickard getting to third, being waved home. Bobby Dickerson, a bad relay throw and no play. And the Orioles add another as they take a 4-2 lead. Couple of mistakes there. Gordon just misjudged the ball, started in and went over his head, and then the relay throw is a lob toss to nobody.
Yeah, I mean, some sloppy baseball here. Orioles taking advantage of a couple double plays that didn't get turned, but Machado just covers this baseball. Just flat out beats Gordon deep. He froze, but ball gets up over his head, and look at the relay throw in over the head of Escobar, allowing Rickard to score without even a chance at home. And once again, another 2-out rally in this Orioles offense.
Manny Machado picks up the RBI. He's got a couple of hits and 3 at bats. That's his 11th run batted in. The Orioles take a 4-2 lead on their 8th hit, and Gordon, an outstanding left fielder, just had trouble with that one right off the bat.
Yeah, a Gold Glove left fielder, best in the business.
Sometimes you just don't see it. 2 down, runner at second base, and the pitch taken away. Adam Jones drew a walk in the 3rd inning and scored. He has also grounded out. Good lead at second base, and the pitch again taken away, and here we go again. Count goes to 2-0. Medlin just unable to get ahead of hitters, not willing to attack the Orioles in that strike zone early in the at bat. 2-0 delivery. Jones up in the air, down the line and right. Dyson coming over, up, and got it. Or foul. No play. thought he had it. First base umpire down the line signaling that he might have caught the ball, but did not.
Yeah, great effort there by Dyson. Had to go a long way to get this ball, and take a look at the timing. Gets the foot up on there, reaches over. That can't come down with it. Nice try though. Never know.
Long run too.
Yeah.
And this outfield's so big, even on balls like that hit into foul territory, you got a long way to go. So they're going to go to the bullpen. Dylan G is getting ready out there. This has just been a bit of a torturous 3+ innings for Medlin.
Well, I think to some degree you really have to credit the Orioles offense not being over aggressive early, because he's really trying to get them to bite on some borderline pitches.
Jones check swing and a pitch inside, did not go around Corey Blazer. Elias Diaz behind the plate. If you're the first third base umpires, you really got to be paying attention. He doesn't, on the check swings, he immediately goes to the umpire on the corner.
Yeah.
Doesn't even worry about anybody asking. 3 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way to Adam, and that's going to be inside. Wow. So he has walked 3 in the ball game, and the Orioles keep it going. And for the Royals, not going to add to that.
No. Take a look at the Jeep inside the numbers. Major League leaders this season. Most games a starter allowing 2 or fewer runs. The Royals, 14 games. A pretty impressive run for this Royals rotation. The Orioles able to get on Medlin tonight.
So a discussion at the mound and a little more time in the bullpen. Dave Island, the pitching coach, will trot back, having had his 30 seconds. Marshall McLuhan used to say it was 15 seconds of fame that everybody looked for in the modern day and age. Baseball has made it 30 for the pitching coach. Chris Davis, a home run and a base hit. Machado's got a couple of hits. Jones has got a couple of walks. Davis, a couple of hits. Scope's got 2. That one down the line, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. That'll bring Manny Machado home. Jones going to third. They got Davis hung up now. The run has already scored. They got Jones at third base. Adam jockeying, and everybody's safe. Nobody covered second. Kane tried to get in from center field, but nobody was there. And this defense of the Kansas City Royals really not in sync in this game.
Yeah. You don't expect this out of one of the best defenses in the business. Of course, reigning World Series champs. Nobody on the backside. Davis staying very aggressive. The Orioles are running the starter.
So that will do it for Medlin. A short start as the Orioles take advantage of every opportunity. Every door opened by Kansas City in this game, be it walks or misplays on defense. The Orioles have found a way to convert it to a run, and they've got a 5-2 lead.
Change. Dylan Gee, long relief man, this Royals club. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 82% of the time. He can two-seam it, four-seam it, cut the fastball as well. Has a curve and a change to go along with it. Only a couple games so far this year, working the 5 innings with a nice earned run average of 1.80. Giving his opponents just a .211 batting average overall. Fly ball pitcher indeed. Giving up the 1 long ball. Remember, Dylan Gee was a former Mets starter until all those big arms started arriving in the Mets rotation, pushing Gee out. He was actually DFA'd last year by the Mets. He refused assignment, took a minor league deal this winter, and ended up winning a relief role.
So here is Gee coming on early in the 4th inning with 2 down. He's faced the Orioles only in 1 game, 7 1/3 innings. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in a start with the Mets against the O's. And the first pitch will be blooped down the line in right field by Trumbo, and that's going to fall in for a base hit, and 2 runs will score. Jones and Davis, one behind the other. Plenty of time with the hang time on that, and Trumbo's got his 3rd RBI of the ball game, and the Orioles have a 7-2 lead.
He'll take that, make up for some of the line drives that he's going to hit this year. A little blooper down the line, and I think everybody taking a little pause out there. Everybody going after it a little tardy on that ball. Orioles running around the bases like crazy here in the 4th.
Oh, big inning, 4 runs in, and all 7 will be charged to the starter, Medlin. Gee's delivery is hit the other way by Matt Wieters, and that will be out of play. So the Orioles now have 7 runs on 10 hits, and we are only in the 4th inning after they were held to the 2 runs on 5 hits in the ball game last night. Well, the offense arriving, and talk about an opportunistic game of the Orioles. Pitch will be taken by Wieters, and a 1-ball 1-strike count on Matt. He has flied out, popped out. That's got a 5-game hit streak. Reaching for one, fouls it back.
Well, nice to see the Orioles offense really clicking, quality at bats up and down the lineup right now. We're quieted over a 3-game set with the Blue Jays, some low-scoring affairs, and then yesterday's ball game held down.
Ooh, big-time yacker right there. And he gets the strikeout, but the Orioles have the inning as they will pick up a 4-run spot in the 4th and make it a 7-2 ball game. Wow, we just like to take a look at some of the great nicknames around Major League Baseball over the years. This was Yul Blackwell, who was known as the Whip. He delivered a snap sidearm delivery. See, he played with the Reds, the Yankees, Kansas City A's, and Vince Scully once said of Blackwell that opposing hitters were genuinely afraid of facing him. He threw hard, came down from the side, and for the right-handers it was like, ooh, staying in the box was not easy. That's where the whip came from for Ewell Blackwell.
You know, windups have really kind of evolved over the years. Everybody's so efficient. Not a lot of wasted movement. Back then, though, it was arms and legs and everything coming at you.
A big windup over the head, sometimes twice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Here's Lorenzo Cain. And he will take the pitch for a strike in the outside corner. Grounded out his first time up. So Tyler Wilson, in his first start, fourth appearance of the 16 season, got himself a good edge, 7-2 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Comes back with a 91-mile-an-hour pitch and gets ahead on the count 0-2.
A couple good cutters right there from Tyler Wilson. Very efficient to this point with all of his pitches. A lot of ground balls in this game. He's working that lower third.
0-2 delivery on the way, and he gets him. Stayed right there. Probably went a little further outside. Strikeout victim number 2.
Pretty good group right here of 3 pitches. Take a look at the pitch track. Already spotted up, down and away in the first 2. A little movement there. A little more velocity as well. 3 quality pitches from Tyler Wilson, getting a very good hitter.
Eric Hosmer with a ground ball out first time up. 12-game hit streak for Hosmer, who's really upped the average. With one down, the pitch to him will miss inside for a ball. Orioles hope to make it a rubber match tomorrow. They're headed that way. Mike Wright against Giordano Ventura for the Sunday afternoon game. That one down the line, left field, slicing to the corner. That is a fair ball. Kim will have to play that one as it dies coming off the fence, and it will be a 1-out double for Hosmer.
Hosmer keeping his hitting streak going. Both he and Manny Machado riding some pretty good streaks. Both active leaders here, taking a low fastball, driving it the other way. Got the big shift on him. Just a 4-hitter, but all of his hits in this series have gone to left field.
So Hosmer at second base with the 3rd hit. A Gordon single and the homer by Perez, the other 2. Kendrys Morales, the DH, grounded out his first time up. Morales gets an opportunity. Time for Kansas City to chip away since we're only in the 4th inning. If they can hold the Orioles down. That ball down the line the other way, and that's foul. Got around on it a little too much as far as he's concerned.
Well, you know, it's kind of a get me over breaking ball there. 78 miles an hour. So it gets him out in front a little bit, and a good thing. As Morales is just looking for a strike out in front because gearing up for first pitch heater. So all it is a hard strike foul.
And that pitch will be away and also a little bit low. First opportunity in the ball game with a runner in scoring position for the Kansas City Royals. They were 1 for 7 in the ball game last night, winning it 4-2. J.J. Hardy right behind Hosmer at second. A very short lead. Delivery to Morales is in the dirt. Meters makes the stop on it, and the count goes to 2-1.
Take a look at this efficiency. Wow, only 43 pitches thrown to this point. Nice job by Tyler Wilson.
Last season as a starter, 5 starts, 1-2 for Wilson, ERA of 4.32. Back in that role again for this game. 2-ball, 1-strike delivery to him. That one is popped up in the air to center field. Going back onto Jones, chasing it back near the wall, and makes a nice running catch. Runner will tag and move up, but the play for the second out, a good one by Jones.
Ooh, that ball just kept going and going on Adam Jones here. Morales squaring it up, and at first Adam just takes a look. He freezes, and then it takes off. Look at the closing speed. He realizes it's going. He's on it. Got a beat. Be afraid of the wall. Not a chance. Coming down with the big second out.
Wind is blowing right to left in this ball game, and it will on balls like that help them towards left field and center. So 2 down, a runner at third base. There you see the flags in right field. Gordon up, base hit, and a run scored ahead of Perez on the home run in the second inning. Alex Gordon takes the pitch inside for a ball. One-zero count, 2 down. KC trying to get a 2-out run themselves. That'll go to second. Down to the scope right there to put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 4 complete, 7-2 O's. Orioles sending 8 to the plate in the 4th inning, getting the 4 runs on 3 hits and extending that lead to 7-2 and out hitting the Royals 10-3. J.J. Hardy will lead it off for the Orioles. Scope and then Kim do up. Great to have you with us on WJZ, broadcast here on this Saturday night from Kansas City, where the difference in starters and the difference in a day has made a difference in the ball game. The Orioles entirely different offensively than last night. Medlin, the 7 runs, 9 hits over 3 2/3 innings. That will not help your ERA. Strike on the outside corner to Hardy, drew a walk in the 2nd inning and scored.
Something that really helps this Orioles offense click is the bottom third. Tonight Hardy has a walk, Jonathan Scope a couple base hits, Kim a base hit himself. So their ability to let this lineup turn on over. Big boys at the top starting to produce.
A little more relaxed tonight for Buck Showalter so far. 1-1 delivery to the hole. Moustakas gets it. Can he get the out? His throw. Wow. Re-racked that one. He said these 2 third basemen in this game, Machado and Moustakas, about as good as it gets.
Yeah, been a lot of fun to watch him here just in these first 2 games. Moustakas just letting it fly. What an arm he has, and quick ability to get to his feet, showing the great range, filling up the 5-6 hole. But the accurate arm is the key here. J.J. Hardy with that chopper, and there he goes. Concentration, and the accurate throw.
Real good play. Jonathan Scope. Scope with a couple of hits in the ball game, 2 for 2. He's upping that average close to 300 now in his career against Kansas City. 1-0 delivery to him. Jonathan will foul that one off the mask of Perez. Or the body somewhere of Perez.
On that shoulder area. Shake that out. Up on the collarbone. Take a look here. Good fastball. Oh, squares him up good.
Even with that protection. JJ over there with Caleb Joseph. Asking, how did I not get a hit on that?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
He was sniffing that base hit. He's taking so many away. He knows how hard it is to get one through the infield.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Give Perez a little time to regroup. And the pitch will be taken outside. $130 for O's Extra tomorrow. 2 o'clock for the ball game. 2-1 delivery and a swing and a miss. Stayed away. Pretty good movement on that. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, tough pitch. Throws it hard. The hard slider. Can't really pick up the spin when it's down low.
2-2 delivery to him off the fist. Not hit hard. Escobar hits it. 2 down. Take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
Yeah, Orioles going to finish up this 3-game set with an afternoon game against the Royals tomorrow, and then off to Tampa, where they're going to be playing the Rays 3 night games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Back into the division play.
Right, going to get the start tomorrow. Did the ball very well in his last outing.
2 down here, and the pitch taken for a strike. Rotations for the Tampa Bay series. It'll be Archer against Gosman in the first one, Odorizzi against Jimenez in the second, and Moore against Tillman in the third. That'll go to first base. Played to the bag by Hosmer, and the Orioles are retired. 1, 2, 3 innings. First time for the O's have gone down that way. Masson, brought to you by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, a workers' compensation insurance company, and by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. With Mike Wardick, I'm Gary Thorne. The Orioles up 7-2 before a packed house here in Kansas City. First start, Tyler Wilson, 26-year-old right-hander, 2-2 in his major league career, and looking for the victory in this ball game as he takes it to the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Throwing the ball very well. Great command in this game. And very efficient as well. Only 46 pitches thrown. Mixing it up nicely. That's his game plan. See the focus. Great competitor on the bump.
Perez home run came in the second inning after Gordon had a 2-out single. He would score ahead of him. Salvador Perez leads it off and takes the pitch outside for a ball.
Buck Showalter, when he talks about Tyler Wilson, says he does everything well. You know, he controls the running game, pounds his zone with all of his pitches. He competes at a high level. When you put all those qualities together, you get a real good total package, and that's why he's had success at every level. And even when he's been challenged in different roles, he's done a nice job. Off to a great start working out of the bullpen this year. Last year, 5 starts and 4 appearances in the bullpen. So, learning how to become versatile. Dave Wallace back in the Orioles dugout. Sure, he's happy with the way Tyler's throwing.
Anything to save that bullpen. Both the Orioles bullpens thrown 3rd most innings coming into the ball game in the American League. Here's the 3-0 delivery on the way. It's taken. It is in there for a strike. Wilson has not walked anybody. Has a couple of Ks. Perez out of Venezuela, 25 years old. Gold Glove winner behind the plate. And pop on the home run in the second inning. Need base runners. 3-1 delivery on the way. He'll go after it. Put it up in the air. Right field. Rickert there to put it away. And Perez is retired. I want to remind you, on Sunday, May 8, your family has a special opportunity to take the field at Oriole Park and create a lifelong memory. Tickets on sale for a special pregame Mother's Day session of Catch prior to the O's taking on Oakland at 1:35. Go to Orioles.com/catch for information on packages including game tickets and on-field access. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. That's Orioles.com/catch. Sunday, May 8. Infante flied out his first time up. Goes after it, and it's a foul ball. Again, getting one that stayed up, but got around on it. A little too much to keep it fair. Omar Infante, now 34 years old, veteran player. He has been with the Tigers, Atlanta, Marlins, and Miami. Kansas City, 3rd year here. 0-1 pitch to him. Infante getting the job done at second base on this championship team.
Yeah, really helped give this infield a veteran presence. Young bodies in there, but you need that veteran eye.
That's going to go down the line and be fair. It'll roll into foul territory, not hit that hard. Kim will go over to get it, and at second base, Infante will pull in with a 1-out double.
Take a look at this swing from Infante. Change up, working on that inner third, but it stays on the plate a little too long. Infante finding some outfield grass, just hugging that left field line. Easily cruises into second base.
That'll be hit number 4 for the Royals. And Infante's 6'2" bagger. He's a doubles, triples hitter with that speed. He still has. And speaking of speed, Jared Dyson. Dyson, a little topper at the plate thrown out by Matt Wieters his first time up. 1 away. Nice to slash that one and fouls it off.
Now, Tyler probably won't be on a pitch limit, but Buck Showalter will certainly be paying attention. Now, he was getting stretched out in spring training because there was a battle for the 5th starter spot, and it really wasn't until the last couple days that the Orioles made up their mind.
Shattered bat. Oh my gosh, the barrel into the seats. Hardy's got nowhere to go. It's an infield hit. Over to third base goes Infante. Just enough wood left to be able to keep that ball playable, and the barrel of that bat went sailing.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a fair game. Tyler Wilson, good pitch right here. Look at that movement, just riding in on the hands, and there goes the bat head up into the stands, and no pace on this ball at all. J.J. Hardy's got to eat it. The Royals threatening here with just the one out. Runners at first and third.
It's the team that's used to making comebacks. They did that last season in the postseason. Look at this. Oof.
Right off the label. Left with just the handle.
The Royals last year, 11 games in the postseason that they won. 8 they won coming from behind. Alcides Escobar up. They got a long way to go in this one. And what Wilson wants now is that ground ball. Try and turn 2. Tough to do on Escobar. He's got good speed. First and third, one away. Escobar 0 for 2. He's grounded out, struck out. Pretty good lead at first by Jared Dyson. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. Infante will score. Rickard will get it back in, holding the runner. And it's a 7-3 ball game.
Pretty solid approach right there by Escobar. Don't want to do too much, get too big. Stays within himself, pitch he can handle, and shoots that hole with Dyson at first base. Big opportunity, and this is executed to perfection. In and out of reach of Jonathan Scope. Infante able to walk home. Dyson standing on second.
6 RBIs for Escobar. Dave Wallace on his way out. And you know he's reminding him of the 1, the lead, and 2, the ground ball, and you're out of the inning.
Yeah, watch out for a double steal, though.
Yeah.
I think Orioles have to be aware of that. It's quite a combination with Dyson and Escobar out on the bases.
Ryan Maddux just activated today. Left-hander in the bullpen. Power bat of Moustakas at the plate. 2 on, 1 out. Dyson at second, Escobar at first. Hardy will hold the runner close at second. Moustakas will take it outside for a ball. 2 out of 3 stolen bases for Dyson. 4 for 4 for Escobar. Moustakas, one of the few numbers not high for him. Runners in scoring position. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that one will miss, and one of the few times Tyler Wilson has fallen behind. Another one of those tough situations. You want to give Wilson a chance to be the winning pitcher in a game the Orioles have a big lead in, but how far can you go if you can't get Moustakas out of there? We'll see. Two-0 count, 1 down. Runners not going. Down the line and foul.
Well, another approach going the other way. I think that's a big tell about this Royals team. Many times they don't get outside of themselves. Try to do too much. They're not trying to hit home runs when they step up here at Kauffman Stadium. Field's too big. They try to use the whole field. Out some doubles. Spray the ball around.
Last Sunday, Moustakas was hitting .214. Now he's hitting .281. Hot bat. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery by Wilson. Taken, good location, kept it down at the knees. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Moustakas, who has grounded out twice. Area base runners, Dyson the lead at second, Escobar at first. 2 for 4 for KC. Runners in scoring position so far today. Here's the 2-2 delivery and a chopper.
Some good pitches there, and you know what? I'm impressed. Tyler Wilson not getting caught up with the speed on the bases right now. He's in attack mode. Trying to make some good pitches here to Moustakas. Really concentrating on the hitter.
Big moment in this ball game. Big at bat. We're in the 5th. The Orioles had the big lead coming in. Still have it. 1 run in. Now trying to hang on to it. Moustakas waiting on a 2-2. Went to the shed and chopped some wood on that one to keep the at bat alive.
Yeah, high heater. All he could do to get a piece of that. Rising up and over the head.
Seven pitch at bat, checking on the bullpen whether ready to go.
Last pitch well up and out of the strike zone.
Do the 2-2 again. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 speedsters on. Dyson and Escobar. Kane waiting on deck. Three-two. Hardy's right on the base at second. Runners do not go. Jonathan Scope. There's one. Relay by Hardy, and they get the double play. And Wilson works his way out of it, getting the ground ball they needed. 1 run in on 3 hits with a base runner left on. The D of the Orioles and the work of Wilson protects the 7-3 lead.
Highlights from Kauffman Stadium, Game 2. The Royals, one of the best defenses in the game. They've been troubled by some miscues. Double play opportunity there. Another double play opportunity. Spoiled by the speed of Rickard. A little slow developing on the double play ball. How about the Gold Glove left fielder Alex Gordon misplaying the bullet off the bat of Machado. Allows Rickard to score. And then Davis gets a base hit down the line. Gets tied up in a rundown, but nobody's covering second base. And no errors on the board for this KC defense, but missing some detail indeed, helping the Orioles to this 7-3 lead. Remember, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Rickard will lead it off and will take a strike. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning and scored. 0 for 3 officially in the ball game. Still with that .313 batting average. And that pitch is a strike at the knees. Top of the order with Machado and Jones to follow for the Orioles. Kansas City won the series last year 4-3. Perez set up outside. That's where it is, and he won't go after it. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Rickard really good with 2 strikes, even though last night's ball game couldn't tell. 4 punch outs, but typically puts the ball in play, puts some pressure on some D.
That's towards second, and it's a base hit. lay the bat on the ball and take what they give you. And that's exactly what he did for a single. Well, for every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Be More for Healthy Babies. 52 walks and $2,600. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Leadoff single for the Orioles, their 11th hit in the ballgame. Not a big lead. Rickard easily on the laydown back to the bag. Manny Machado has picked up a double, a single. He has scored a run and has picked up an RBI. Pitch to him is going to be in to back him off the plate. So the hit streak up to 16 games. He is the first Oriole to hit safely in the club's first 16, even though Davey Johnson holds the record of hitting in 17 consecutive games to start a season. Davey sat out one game during that stretch. We actually, while he had a 17-game hit streak, it came in an 18-game span.
Yeah, Manny's riding a games played streak right now.
Yep.
As well, 107. This is his 178th game.
Back he goes.
Yeah, you're talking about the Orioles, and not really known for speed and stealing bases, but one thing they really paid attention to in spring training was overall base running. It's going first to third, being aggressive on balls in the dirt.
Then he lifts that one high in the air to shallow center. Kane, oh my gosh, they got a force at second. I don't know if Kansas City didn't get any sleep last night or they're looking at all the handout small championship
right?
trophies, but this is really bad defense. They get a break on that.
Yeah.
But Kane came in as though the rest of the team was going to catch it. It was his ball.
Yeah, everybody's looking at each other. Nobody really wanting the ball right now. This isn't how you play it. And this isn't how we're used to seeing the Royals play the last couple of seasons. They are just ultra aggressive. Guys, everybody goes after the ball, typically on this team.
Of course, of a long season, you have ball games where you don't play your game. And for Kansas City so far, this has certainly been one of them defensively. Fouled away by Adam Jones. He's drawn 2 walks and both times scored. 0 for 1 officially in the ball game. Medlin gave up 3 walks in the game and all of them scored. Hardy and Jones twice. So a fielder's choice again. There are no errors in this game.
Yeah.
But all the mistakes have kept innings going. A couple of double plays, as Mike said, that didn't get turned. Now that one falls in, but they get an out on the fielder's choice. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down. We're in the top of the 6th inning. And Adam Jones looking to get a hole in one with that wind still helping balls out to center and left. 1-1 delivery on the way and a ground ball off the fist foul. Outside of third for Adam.
Gee, pretty good life running on his fastball. Riding up and in on Adam Jones.
Manny Machado at first base now, not taking any kind of a lead. Hosmer holding the bag on him. 1-2 delivery on the way and a swing and a miss. That one fell off the table. Second strikeout.
Pretty good change right here. Bottom just dropping out of it. 86 miles an hour. Starting at the knees and see you later.
So at 2 away. Chris Davis back to the plate. Chris has had a 3-hit game, 2 singles, a home run, 2 RBIs. And the pitch is for a strike. Our Alexis Towson drive of the game.
And Chris Davis getting into one in the 2nd inning. A solo shot, a bomb to left field.
Oh, that one's going to get away. It'll be backed up, though, and the runner's got to go back. Infante fell down trying to play that rebound off the stands. What a game. I mean, balls flying all over the place here when the Royals are in the field.
Take a look at the pickoff attempt here and just throwing it over the back. Hosmer can't reach over and get him, but the kick is generous to the Royals there. Back to Infante, who actually overruns the ball.
By the way, our drive of the game was brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 luxury dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. Davis will take the pitch inside for a ball.
We talked about Jonathan Scope coming out for early batting practice, picking up a couple knocks. Kim always out there for early. Well, Chris Davis came out as well, and he's having a nice night at the plate.
This is Chris's first 3-hit ball game of the season. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Full shift, of course, put on against Chris. Trumbo waiting on deck. 1-2 the count. Machado edging off first base. Davis on a swing and a miss and a pitch up. Unhappy with himself on that one. Orioles no runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base. Orioles lead it 7-3. Time brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, Kansas City, some troubles defensively, but the Orioles have been solid all year long. Manny Machado flashing the leather down the third base line from a knee, right on target to get Escobar. And how about Adam Jones, Gold Glove center fielder? Ball starts drifting on him, but good concentration up against the wall, hauling in a huge second out. And Tyler Wilson finding himself in a little jam, need a double play. Great pitch here. Scope to Hardy on to Davis to clean up the inning. Tyler Wilson having himself a fine ball game.
Adam Jones participating at the plate and in the field. Tyler Wilson working his way into the 6th inning of this game. Middle of the order, Lorenzo Cain inside for a ball. Cain has struck out, grounded out, 1 hit, 6 at bats in the first 2 games. Couple of home runs lifetime against the Orioles with a .268 average. 1-0 delivery. He'll take the strike on the inside corner. They're going to try and draw some walks if they can, but Wilson's been unwilling. No walks, 2 strikeouts. Just let the ball be in play. The Orioles, as you saw, backed him up. 1-1 delivery. Yikes.
Left that breaking ball up there a little bit, 78 miles an hour, and Cain gets a good look, puts the foot down, and would almost reload on that. Very healthy cut. Fouled straight back.
3 hits in his last 13 at bats, and that one will miss, maybe a little low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles 2 in the second. Royals tied it up that same inning. Another one in the third, and then 4 runs in the 4th inning before a 1-run 5th for KC. Chopper off the end of the bat. Bobble Davis thrown away. Hits the facade. I don't know, maybe it's a disease that's spreading.
Well, I will say this, a play that the Orioles work on, and you don't see it too often from teams, where Chris Davis doesn't typically go after that ball. So maybe a little brain cramp there. Davis will give way to Jonathan Scope. Scope right behind him. And reason being, you try to eliminate a pitcher being involved in a play.
So that will be it for Tyler Wilson. Deserved a little better fate in which to leave the ball game, but he leaves with a chance to be a winner. 7-3 lead. Brian Mattis, left-hander, coming in.
But what an effort after making his first start, 5+ innings, scattering the 6 hits, the 3 earned runs, fastball, breaking ball, changeup, great mix, very aggressive in the strike zone. Nice outing for Tyler Wilson. Give way to Brian Mattis last season, 58 games, lefty matchup guy, and he was outstanding. 2.94 earned run average in 49 innings. See the 56 punch-outs for Mattis last season. This will be his first appearance of the year.
He's on the DL, April 3, intercostal strain, 5 rehab appearances, 69th major league game for him. Runner at first base, Hosmer up. Hosmer is 0 for 6. Lifetime off Mattis. He has picked up a double and has grounded out. Error was charged on Chris Davis, allowing Kane to reach to start the inning. There he is at first base. Brian, 29 years old now, 27-41 his record. Hosmer swinging for the fences the way Kane was, and an 0-2 count.
Yeah, letting it fly. Now, kind of pulling the hands inside, picking up some base hits the other way. Might do that now with the 2 strikes, but the Orioles defense kind of shifted back around.
Tyler Wilson responsible for the runner who's on. 2-strike count. Morales on deck. Left-hander's pitch, and that one will be fouled back. Kansas City making efforts here in the last 2 innings. Get back into this ball game. Big double play ground ball. Moustakas hit into that Wilson worked out of him, and a long at bat ended that 5th inning with only 1 run scored. And now with the leadoff error, Mattis coming out of the bullpen to try and hold the score at 7-3. And that one, he came a little bit inside on him, fouled off at the plate.
Nice breaking ball there from Mattis. As he was rehabbing back, the fastball velocity wasn't quite there, so made a couple extra rehab stints. Fastball velocity getting back up in the low 90s. The breaking ball and change to go along with it.
on the rehab. 16 strikeouts, 10 innings that he worked. Hosmer asking me for the timeout. Here's the delivery, and he had a reach. Got him to pop it up, second base. Scope. And there's one of the three. Need to get out of the inning. Now the Orioles going to be back home on Thursday to begin a 10-game homestand. Take on the White Sox 7:05 on Sunday, May 1. The kids can run the bases every Sunday home game. All kids 14 and under get to run the bases after the ball game. So make every Sunday a family day at the yard. It'll be a great memory for the kids and for you. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Youngster on hand here watching the ball game with the Orioles orange. They stand out in the sea of blue. Kendrys Morales 0 for 2. Adam Jones robbed him of an extra base hit. Taking the ball up near the wall in center his last time up. Gain on at first base, one down. Ryan Mattis will miss outside with that one. And Morales trying to work the count in his favor. Michael Givens in the bullpen. Morales 3 for 10 off Brian Mattis. 2-0 count. And that is there for a strike. The Orioles having extended that lead. You see the Kansas City hitters taking more pitchers, not being as aggressive at the plate, trying to draw free passes or find another way to get on. Trailing as they are 7-3. And gets the count in his favor, 3-1.
Real nice changeup right there. You credit Morales with the take, but Mattis wants it a called strike.
Morales best average against any club he's faced. The Orioles. 3-1 delivery lifted in the air at the end of the bat. Kim coming on. It'll play in a hop. Runner stopping at second base is Kane. That one right off the end of the bat. Not a lot on it. And there are 2 on and 1 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So for the second inning in a row, the Royals threaten. That's hit number 7. Kane at second, Morales at first, and Alex Gordon. Power bat. Base hit, run scored in the second, and he is popped out.
Well, the Orioles know that the Royals, just because they're playing a little sloppy tonight, they're down by 4 runs. The Orioles know they're not going to give up. They're not just going to throw their bats away. And this is a dangerous lineup because what Ned Yost talks about. They don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play. They put the pressure on the opposing team. They take their chances with that. And it's a winning formula, and it has been the last 2 seasons of this Royals club.
Gordon 2 for 8 with a home run off Mattis. And the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 down. Mattis coming out of the bullpen, and right now I'd like to find that ground ball for another double play to get out of the inning. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Gordon will take that one, and it will be inside. And the count goes to 2-1. Kansas City team, we talked about strikeouts, 3rd fewest in the American League as a team. That's what Ned Yost was talking with us about before the game. 2-1 delivery on the way, down to first, foul. The Angels of all teams early on in the season have struck out the fewest number of times, which is really surprising. Albert Pujols having a disastrous start and a big funk. He's got an 0 for 20 something going now.
Ouch.
There are the base runners, Kane and Morales.
Somebody's going to pay.
Yeah.
Orioles hope they don't go out there when he starts eating up.
2-2 delivery on the way. Lean looked. 3-2. All right, all of you fans, do you send your base runners? Kane and Morales, one down.
I don't think so.
Hardy holding Kane at second. 3-2 delivery. Runners don't go, and it's ball 4. That is the first walk picked up in the ball game by the Royals, but Showalter on his way back out with Salvador Perez coming up. And Brian Mattis's return less than successful. He gets one out on the pop-up, gives up a single and a walk. The bases are loaded in the 6th inning. Givens on to face Perez.
The fastball 63% of the time from that sidearm slot. Now you're getting it in the mid-90s with the heater. Breaking ball, that sweeping slider. Features a real good change as well. 8 games, that earned run average starting to come down. 3.52 right now. Fly ball pitcher has given up 1 long ball. Lefty's way up to 700. Michael.
Salvador Perez, the bases are loaded. 1 out. Pitch is there for a strike. These two have faced one another before, only a couple of times. Perez 1 for 2 against Givens, who has homered and flied out. 2 RBI homers, 2nd inning. That one will get away, but not far. Wieters able to stop it. For Givens, only a couple of previous outings against the Royals.
Here, the slider getting away. Matt Wieters' job is killing the ball with the glove.
Givens, 2 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits against KC. And at 85 miles an hour, Perez with a big cut, but looking for heat. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Nice slider, well located on that outer third. Do a few different things now. A lot of weapons here.
Kane at third, Morales at second, Gordon at first. 1-2. That one blooped back. Last outing for Givens 3 days ago in Toronto, worked an inning, had a strikeout, a walk, and gave up a hit. 1-2. Tyler Wilson responsible for the runner at third, Mattis the others. Fouled off again the other way. And a line up on a fastball. Givens still ahead of him, 1-2.
Couple good heaters. Good velocity, 96 miles an hour on both. Gonna expand the zone a little bit. Riding one up and out of the zone. Givens has been working on that fastball that appears to rise.
1-2 inside. at 96. Mattis, a third of an inning, a hit and a walk. And Buck Showalter, who had been relatively quietly watching, is now pacing.
Yeah, a little antsy in there.
Dave Wallace rejoining the team today, having to get to it on the bullpen again. Orioles bullpen, of course, has been just outstanding again early on this season. Second best ERA in the American League for the pen, 1.74. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery. Perez again nubs it foul, so it'll be at least an 8-pitch at bat.
Well, that's a better pitch, though. Work the edges. Not far ahead. Too many pitches left over the heart of the plate.
Sacks are full. 2-2 to Perez, and he chases and Givens gets him. Big strikeout. 2 down.
Yeah, nice pitch right there. Givens rears back 88 miles an hour on this slider, so throws it hard enough to make it look like the fastball coming out of the hand. Gets Perez to bite, and there's the result. Out in front, swinging wildly at a slider that ends up a good foot off the plate.
So 2 down, and Infante, who's had a double and is flied out, stands in with 2 out and the bases loaded. Will take the pitch. It is on the outside corner for a strike. He didn't think so. Infante 0 for 1 off Givens. Started the inning with an error. Charge to Davis on a play at first. Kane went to third now. Morales a single and the walk to Gordon, loading the bases. But after all of this, Orioles a chance to get out of the inning. That'll be down the line in right field to the seats. And a 2-strike count on Infante, and Wieters will go out to make sure on this big pitch.
Yeah, there really has to be commitment here in this situation. Both Givens and Wieters have to be on the same page. And there has to be an awareness of what's going on the field now. Bases have been loaded for a while. Runner at second base, maybe checking the signs out. Maybe Wieters wants to change over.
0-2 delivery on the way. Infante won't go after it. Wieters did. 1-2.
Wieters went down like a hockey goalie right there.
Good save.
To make the pad save, right?
Almost took the 5-hole. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Again outside. Wieters shaking his head yes to Givens. He wanted a couple of pitches to try and get Infante to chase, but they weren't close enough. Kane, Morales, Gordon. 2-2. Cued off the end.
Not giving in. Love it. Staying on that outside corner with the slider.
Try it again on the 2-2. Infante won't bite. So you take it to the limit. 3-2, 2 down, bases loaded. Orioles have the 7-3 lead here in the 6th. Three-two delivery. Infante goes down swinging. 83-mile-an-hour delivery, and Givens comes on and gets 2 strikeouts. And through all of that, no runs on a hit, an error, and 3 are left on. Our Honda do-up. Trumbo, Wieters, and Hardy. Orioles still up 7-3. and Royals wrap up the 3-game set. Looks like a rubber match. Mike Wright takes the mound against Giordano Ventura. Coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 2. All the access you need right here on MASN. Beautiful ballpark in the city of fountains. Lots of the fountain water here at Kauffman Stadium. Mark Trumbo. Trumbo's had a big game, couple of singles, 3 RBIs, and he has struck out. Wieters and then Hardy as we start the 7th. His pitch will be taken. It is a strike in the outside corner. Orioles have gotten through a couple of innings, 5th and 6th, where KC threatened. And the Oriole pitching up to the job. Orioles have left 6. Royals have left 5. 4 of those in scoring position. That'll go to center. Kane is there to put it away. Trumbo's retired, 1 down.
Yeah, those middle innings of a ball game would be testers. You know, your starting pitcher is fatiguing, gone through the lineup maybe 3 or 4 times, so it's always risky. A lot of teams fighting to try to find a way to get to the back end of their bullpens. Orioles made it through those 2 innings.
Wieters an 0 for 3. Will take the pitch inside for a ball. Pop out, fly out, strikeout. Matt at 250. And that pitch is in there for a strike. Another one worked inside to him. Only 7 games played by these 2 teams in the course of the season. Orioles getting the early visit to Kansas City this year. 2-1 pitch. Wieters takes, and it will catch the outside corner. 77. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Royals have to be happy with the way G's throwing the ball as well.
D with a 2-2. Wieters to Infante. 2 down. In our Major League Notebook on this date in baseball history, a great matchup in '69. Mike Cuellar, the Orioles, Denny McLain of Detroit. They went the distance 3-2. It was a 10-inning complete game performance. Cuellar got 20 consecutive hitters at one point in that ball game, and Denny McLain had 21 consecutive outs. And way back in '02, the Philadelphia A's, Luis Castro appeared in an 8-1 win over the Orioles, becoming the first Colombian player to appear in the big leagues. Game that was played at Oriole Park. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy has drawn a walk, scored, flied out, grounded out. A couple of hits, 6 at bats, and an RBI in the series. Fastball will be taken up high. 2-0. Medlin worked only 3 2/3 innings. KC starters, 7 runs, 9 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. 2-0 delivery on the way, continuing the problems Medlin has had here at his home yard. Said to Mike after he left, they may have to think about allowing him only to pitch in road games.
Yeah,
it's just been a struggle for him at home in a pitcher's ballpark. 2-1 pitch. Hardy out in front of that one. 2-2.
A high changeup. Looks like a beach ball coming in there to Hardy, so he gets big. G pulling the string.
Bill and G's done a real good job in relief. 2-2 delivery to him. Hardy to third. Moustakas on the hop. We'll get him. Solid 1-2-3 inning. 7th inning stretch time here in KC. The Orioles looking to even up this 3-game set. They lead it 7-3. 7-3 lead. What do you think? I mean, Tyler Wilson pitched really well in this game, obviously hoping to stay in a rotation. I don't know.
Hey, Tyler Wilson's pitched great all year. You know, he got thrown into the bullpen, long relief. He's eaten up some innings and been very solid there. Here showing what he's all about in the starting role. This kid can handle anything. I think Buck Showalter, very fortunate to have him. He can be a very versatile pitcher. He's going to build on this start, and it's going to be interesting to see how Buck Showalter and Dave Wallace work this out when Gausman comes back. And you know, they already had to make the move with Brian Mattis.
Yep.
Of course,
that got taken
Gallardo,
care of
right
with
on
Gallardo
the DL.
going on the DL. Yep. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Givens, the pitch driven to center field by Dyson. He's retired. And the Orioles get the first out again. Our PNC inside the numbers.
Yeah, Orioles bullpen. Take a look at the bullpen ERAs. American League leaders. The White Sox leading the way, but the Orioles right behind them. 1.74, and they have been challenged as well, eating up a lot of innings here in the early going of the season. And they have been consistent and solid. Brad Brock, O'Day, and Zach Britton. That is the Orioles version of the three-headed monster.
Pitch taken for a strike. Alcides Escobar, the leadoff batter. Base hit, an RBI. He's grounded out and struck out. 2-run homer by Perez in the 2nd inning. Those are the 3 runs on the board for KC. End of the bat, Hardy's got it. Plenty of time, gets the out. The Givens gets a couple of quick outs here to start this bottom of the 7th inning. Follow Orioles baseball live with the MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment anytime. Game day with live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download it. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Mike Showalter on his way out, getting the matchups that he wants in this ball game, and also trying to keep as many people available in the bullpen by not extending them here in this game. Brad Brock will come on to pitch.
Arsenal this season. Fastball 60% of the time. Cross-body delivery really helps the fastball play up, but doesn't need much help. Mid-90s with the heater. Breaking ball, the sweeping slider, and that turbo change 26% of the time. Brad Brock off to another great start. This Orioles bullpen, 2 wins already in his 8 games. Just a 1-0 earned run average. Opponents hitting just 138 overall off Brock. He's been outstanding back into this bullpen.
2 down, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th inning. You'll face Moustakas. He's had an 0 for 3 hit into a big double play back in the 5th inning to end it, and KC was threatening. Good job done by Givens, an inning and a third. 2 big strikeouts coming in the 8th inning. The bases loaded. Michael Givens got the job done. Now Brad Brock looking for the final out here against Moustakas. Shift on infield, and the Fastball is going to miss inside.
Look at Givens over there in the Oriole dugout. Yeah, quite an effort. Brought into that situation with the bases jammed and came up with 2 big punch outs. Yeah, and the Royals don't punch out much.
No. That'll be taken down low. Brock, Moustakas 0 for 2 against him. He's got a 5-game hit streak that he has not extended with the 0 for in this ball game. 2 ball 1 strike pitch, and that one put him in the air to center. Adam Jones has got it lined up, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Orioles on top as we go to the 8th, 7-3. Page regarding Brad Brach, who you saw on the mound a minute ago. His numbers from last year, they have added a hold. Major League Baseball has. There's the definition: a reliever coming into a game to protect a lead gets at least 1 out and leaves without giving up that lead. He gets a hold. Now the hold is an unofficial statistic, still not official. He got an extra one after the season was over. They went back and looked at a game that was played against Seattle on May 21, in which the Orioles won at 5-4. He came in a situation where he had a chance to be the winning pitcher if something happened, a save if he'd stayed in the ball game. They gave him neither. He got neither. But they went back and looked and said, well, wait a minute. He came in with a lead. He got the outs. He left with a lead. He deserved a hold. He didn't get it. So Brad Brach in the offseason, you got a hold.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, Brad Brach had a monster year last year. How about the 5 wins he picked up?
Yeah.
Out of the bullpen. 79 in 3rd innings. Worked. Pretty impressive, but 89 strikeouts. Led the Orioles relievers last year.
A 1 ball 1 strike count on Jonathan Scope. Couple of base hits, 2 for 3. And he will foul that one back. Take a look at the box score.
Yeah, Rickard picking up a base hit and scoring a run. Machado extending his hit streak to 16 games with a double, single, and a run scored. Adam Jones, a couple of runs. Chris Davis with a home run.
1-2, delivery on the way, foul back. Dylan G really doing a job here. This is a former starter, as we said, so he comes in a long relief situation, and that's what he's done. He retired the side in order in the 5th, in the 7th. He has given up only 2 hits. One of those allowed 2 inherited runners to score. The first batter he faced 4th inning. Again, that'll be foul back, another souvenir. But he's really done a great job for them here to save some arms in the bullpen.
Yes, he has, and I think every time he takes the hill for this Royals team, he's auditioning for maybe a starting spot.
Yep. Count remains at 1-2. Scope will foul another one off into the house. 39,900 sellout crowd on this Saturday night. 39-9. All the blue here at Kauffman Stadium. Royals put a little dent so far in the night with a 7-3 lead. And a bouncer on the 7th pitch of the at bat. So Jonathan working this one. Nobody warming up in either bullpen. Top of the 8th inning. Two-two delivery. It's a pretty good battle.
Yeah.
Jonathan fouled off some heat.
And G just filling up the strike zone right now in attack mode. Like to see that from a pitcher.
2-2 delivery again, and another one foul back. That's a good sign. A lot of good signs for Jonathan Schoop. I mean, one, he got out of the 0 for 17, 2 hits, and he's clearly just missing getting on pitches here. 10th pitch of the at bat. 2-2 again, and he gets it. A wrinkle down and away that he took something off of the strikeout, his 3rd.
Yeah, pretty nasty pitch here. Aggressive with hard sliders and fastballs. And it takes a little off on this one. A nice finish at the end. Boy, does that have some late bite.
One away. Young-Soo Kim getting a start in left field, his first start since the 13th. Picked up an RBI base hit in the 2nd inning. He is struck out, grounded out. Apparently enough showing up on scouting reports to move the shortstop Escobar over towards the bag. Moustakas is backed up, moved towards short. Outfield moves in a few steps straight away. One-0 delivery hit off the glove of Hosmer, and it's a base hit. That was a do-or-die play, and Kim's got his 2nd hit, so 2 for 4. As Hosmer just too hot to handle on that one.
Every time Kim gets a playing opportunity, he does something good. Couple hits in this ball game. I see him turning on the pitch. Did the bat head get to this ball? Didn't square it up completely, but I see him turning on the baseball. Tough ball to handle over there for Hosmer.
So Kim with a couple of hits comes out for Reimold, the pinch runner. Nolan Reimold in. The Orioles will try and add to this 7-3 lead. 12 hits for the Orioles. One away. Joey Rickard, top of the order. The base hit his last time up. Fielder's choice in the 4th inning, and he scored. Officially a 1 for 4. But he has crossed the plate in the ball game. Reimold off first. Came inside on him that time. The Orioles scoring department. They've been led, as you would expect, Manny Machado in runs scored, along with Chris Davis. Part of that because all of the walks rather, that Chris has picked up, and Chris has scored twice in this game with a homer and a base hit. Rickard pumps that one down the line. Dyson coming over and in foul territory makes the catch. 2 down. Streaks alive. Manny Machado kept it going his very first at bat, picking up a base hit.
How about the highest OPS in March and April for the Orioles since 1954? Machado on that list with some huge names. Of course, Robinson back in 1966, 1.561. That was the year they won the Triple Crown MVP in '66. Hamilton, Murray, and Robinson on there again. Pretty impressive list.
Manny with 2 down, runner at first base, goes after it. He's also added a double, an RBI. He's scored a run. So 2 for 4 in the ball game. 16-game hit streak. 3 hits, 8 at bats. He's picked up a home run and 2 RBIs in the first 2 games of the series. Perez out to block that one. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, Manny Machado whistled a double up over Gordon's head earlier in the ball game. See Wang out there warming up in the Kansas City bullpen. And Manny Machado, you know, as he's evolved over the past few seasons, seen the strength. We talked about his lower half getting stronger because of the rehab he's had to do, a couple knee surgeries, and just the overall strength as he's grown into his body. He's getting a lot more carry on balls. The balls are coming off his bat. He's hitting more line drives and fly balls, but it's coming off hot. He's like up around 95 miles an hour. This elite category with some of the best hitters in the game. Manny Machado is right there.
Right there with Josh Donaldson in home runs, third baseman. Donaldson first, Machado second since the beginning of last year. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Reimold at first base. Stays away. May have heard the voice of Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, telling everybody 3-2. Nolan Reimold pinch running. Will have Hosmer holding him 3-2 away instead of playing behind him with a right-handed batter up. And with the runner going, a swing and a miss. So the Orioles retired. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bottom of the 8th, O's up by 4. Trying to do that against the Orioles bullpen, all but impossible.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Fewest runs allowed in the 8th inning or later this season. The Orioles leading the way, only giving up 2 runs. Rays in second, trailing by 6. They're at 8, and a big reason why, well, guy who's on the bump right now, Brad Brock, off to an exceptional start, but Darren O'Day hasn't given up an earned run this year, and Zach Britton has turned into one of the best closers in the game right now, with 4 saves. So very tough back end. Orioles bullpen, one of the tops in the game today.
Brad Brock will stay in, getting the final out in the 7th, middle of the order. Lorenzo Cain will take the pitch inside for a ball. Bottom half of the 8th inning, and Cain be followed by Hosmer and Morales. 7-12-1 for the Orioles, 3-7-0 for Kansas City. Back into the sellout crowd, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cain with the 0 for 3 in this one, 1 for 7 in the first 2 games for the center fielder of the Royals. Brad Brock's 1-1 delivery to him. That's a strike in the outside corner at the knees.
Boy, that is a nasty pitch. 96 miles an hour, down and away. Cross-body delivery.
1-2 delivery to Cain. Chops at it to third and foul. Brad's throwing that hard and falling off on that third base side a little bit at times. So they're right-handed batters. We're talking about trying to hang in.
Yeah, it's tough.
That foot wants to go to that pail. Get out of there. One-two count. Stays outside on a bouncer. Kane takes it 2-2. Orioles, of course, gotten off to a great start in the series wins that Mick Showalter talks so much about. They can get a rubber game set up for tomorrow. They'll have a chance to go after another series win. Yost, the winningest manager, Kansas City Royals history. Buck Showalter working his way up, third in Orioles history now. 2-2 delivery, and that's back into the screen. Royals have taken some big cuts on Oriole pitchers in this game. Very aggressive at bats, trying to drive it.
Yeah, but to the Orioles pitchers' credit, not a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate. See that grouping down and away to Kane.
2-2 in the seventh pitch, off the handle. Hardy's got to wait on it. Got him. Ned Yost says, hang on a minute. I want to have my people look at that.
Well, I think JJ probably has the best internal clock in the game and lightning quick feet, knowing the speed of Kane. The soft hit roller. Once it hits the glove, though, the feet get in a perfect position. He unleashes the cannon. Get that first out.
And once again, as we never point out, the umpire was right. Corey Blazer, without the availability of video replay, gets it right again. Pitch taken away, Eric Hosmer. Hosmer with a double, 1 for 3 in the ball game. 13 game hit streak now for him. And the pitch inside, down around the feet on that one. Hosmer's 0 for 3 off Brad Brock. Brad coming into this game against the Royals had appeared in 4 games, 4 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits. Not so here. Another big cut and a miss, and a well located pitch.
See Hosmer with that 13 game hitting streak. 333.
2-1 delivery in the air. Jones got to go over, turning away from him, and he'll make the catch. A ball slicing to the gap. And Adam was positioned well, got a good jump, and there are 2 down.
A nice play by Adam Jones. He makes it look so easy. Gets in that glide speed. Great first step here. Hosmer smokes this ball, and it's cutting away from Adam Jones. How about that line? Easy closing speed and long arms, able to reach up.
And Kirby looking out at Adam Jones. Adam looking at him. Positioning. 2 down. Morales, a single. 1 for 3. Robbed of a hit by Adam Jones back in the 4th inning. Kendrys Morales trying to get something started with 2 away here in the 8th. Here's the shift again. Scope's got a charge from right field and makes the play. Side retired in order as the Orioles bullpen are chewing them up right now, and the Orioles have the 7-3 lead. Baseball on Masson brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Royal Farms. Royal Farms, world famous chicken and western fries made fresh, never frozen. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms. Beautiful look at Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City to the bullpen.
Now let's take a look at Wangen's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 90%. Good two-seamer. Loves to go with that sinker. Has everything else. Slider, curveball. He's got a splitter and a change. 3 games this year. 4-1, 5, 4 1/3 innings of work. Opponents hitting a robust 368.
36-year-old who has been around the major leagues for some time. Not doing a lot of pitching so far. He came in on Wednesday. Pair of 2-out singles, and he hadn't appeared in 9 days prior to that. 9th inning, here's Adam Jones. Ang's delivery will be taken for a strike on the outside corner. Jones a 1 for 8 lifetime off this right-hander. As that delayed windup. 0-1 pitch is down low. He worked with Toronto, Minnesota, Yankees, Cincinnati, White Sox, Atlanta, Seattle. First Taiwanese player to appear for the Royals.
Hasn't actually been in the big leagues since 2013. Kind of bouncing around the minor leagues the last few seasons.
And the pitch taken for a ball. He's had a rather extensive record against the Orioles. This is game number 12. 3-2 with a save. High ERA 5.46 in those games he pitched against the Orioles back when. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Jones chops it foul. Adam taking advantage of the walks, 2 of them, and he scored both times. He is 0 for 2 officially, but has scored 2 runs in the ball game.
Well, you like to see the walks from Adam Jones as well. Play a very aggressive hitter. Buying into that patient side of things.
Two. Again, worked inside. Hardy had a walk, scored in the 2nd inning. Adam Jones in both the 3rd and 4th innings, picking up free passes and scoring. We said this has been a game where the Orioles have really been opportunistic. Every chance, every extra opening they've had, they've gone through it. Adam will take that pitch away. So a full count, 3-2.
And the Royals have given them plenty of extra opportunities, even though they don't have an error on the board. Some sloppy defense.
Full count, 7th pitch of this at bat to Adam. And he did not go around, draws a walk. He's done it again. That's a 3-walk ball game. Well, visit MassonSports.com. Care First to vote for tonight's Care First Live Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Our Live Fearless Player of the Game.
Well, Davis having a good game, but Tyler Wilson, you love to see the good starts.
Big cut. Runner on at first, leadoff man on for the Orioles here in the 9th inning. Davis, 3-hit ball game, 3 for 4, home run, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Next pitch to him is going to be taken up high. Davis 4 for 5 off the right-hander as Darren O'Day is ready to go in the bullpen. One and one. Tailed down and away at 91 on that one, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Chris.
Well, his bread and butter pitch, that 2-seam fastball, power sinker, nice movement working away. Chris Davis. It's a dangerous spot though. Chris a chance to get his arms extended. His natural bat path down there.
Angle miss outside with that one, and the count goes to 2-2. A quiet full house here in Kansas City right now, as the Orioles, that big 4-run fourth inning, got the lead, and they've not surrendered it. Runner off first. That's going to go into right. That's going to be a base hit. Dyson over to get it. Stopping at second base will be Jones. And a 4-hit ball game. Chris Davis, 3 singles and a home run. A big night for the Oriole first baseman at the plate.
Sound approach right there after chasing high fastball. Stays within himself. This little 2-strike hit.
The Orioles now picked up 13 hits, out hitting the Royals 13-7. 2 on. Mark Trumbo. Oh, what a scoop right there. Perez had to play the backhand hop as the catcher on that one.
Yeah, you got the big hop. Playing it like Manny Machado, getting a little angle off to the side. This spiking the pitch. Ooh. He's picking it clean and then coming up throwing.
Yeah.
Looking to throw.
1-0 delivery on the way to him, and that's fouled off. Chris Davis with a 4-hit ball game, believe it or not, ties his high. Be the 9th time Chris has had a 4-hit game, and the last time he did it was at Pittsburgh in 2014. So a 4-hit game for Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Trumbo. Trumbo's had the big night again. 3 RBIs, coming off 2 singles, 2 for 4. He's got an 8-game hit streak. He's got a chance to add to those numbers right here. Base hit, pick up another RBI. 1-1 delivery to him. Came back inside. Trumbo able to hold off on it.
Yeah, Trumbo's having some fun this year, hitting behind Chris Davis. We weren't giving Davis anything for a while. It's the high walk count for Davis, so Trumbo started getting on fire.
Good pitch that really dove down. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Comes somebody in this lineup. Start pitching to Davis. Flipping out the 4 hits today. Hasn't had a lot of these opportunities. Typically just kind of being very careful with him, working the edges, seeing if he'll chase, but he's showing the good patience.
2-2, runners off first and second. Lang's delivery is a chopper. This is going to be a tough play for anybody if it's fair, but it rolls foul. So everybody will go back. Trumbo back to the plate. Keeps his at bat alive on the 2 ball, 2 strike count. Buck Showalter comfortable again on the railing after pacing in the middle innings.
Yeah.
2-2 delivery again to him. That's in the dirt, and that's going to get away. Spins right back to him, and they got the runners caught up. Down to second base, Davis went. Adam Jones is in the rundown. He gets tagged out. Chris Davis was ready to advance. The ball spun right back to Salvador Perez, and Adam Jones got caught in the melee.
Yeah, just caught a break right there. Adam Jones with the read, bounces away, but look at it, just hangs right up on the edge of the grass. Adam stuck out in no man's land, waits for Davis to get over to second base, and then tries to induce a throw, but Moustakas just runs him back for the out.
A 2-5 on the putout. Boy, that ball had some spin.
Man, stopped right there.
Came right back at him. 3 ball, 2 strike count, 1 down with Davis on at second base. And again, that will be fouled off. The Orioles have done a lot of that in this ball game, which has obviously been a big problem for the Kansas City pitchers. Their starter Medlin, 7 runs, 9 hits, 3 2/3, still their pitcher of record. G with a great 4 1/3, no runs, 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Held the fort, middle of the ball game. 3-2 delivery again. That ball tagged to center field, turning on it. Kane way back, not going to get it. Davis, the late start, will round third. He's on his way in. Trumbo goes into second base, picks up his 4th RBI of the game and his 3rd hit, and the Orioles have an 8-3 lead.
Well, Trumbo is just covering the baseball. It comes off his bat hot, and we've seen it get to the wall quick as anybody. In this ball game, Machado beating Gordon. Here, Trumbo beating Kane in straightaway center field. Don't see that too often. This ball just up, beating him, trying to run it down, just flagging the glove just in case. Big man Davis, good speed, easily scoring for Trumbo.
15 RBIs, a team leading number for Trumbo. Fouled away by Wieters. He's 0 for 4 in the ball game. So Trumbo coming across with the 4 RBIs. He and Davis having big games, either pushing runs across or scoring them. 0-1 delivery. Rode in on the fist a little bit and fouled straight back. 8 runs on 14 hits for the Orioles. Trumbo off second base, 0-2 count. Wieters again a little bit late, fouls it away. Holds the count at 2 strikes.
Well, Matt Wieters an excellent job working Tyler Wilson in this ball game. Well, there's some emotions, adrenaline working to the veteran catcher to keep him settled and around the plate.
Again the 0-2 and got him. So Wieters goes down, looking at the 3rd strike. 2 down.
Take a look at the movement on this 2-seam fastball. 93 miles an hour, starting it off right at Wieters, and it works back over that inner third.
And gets his first strikeout. J.J. Hardy, a walk, a run scored, 0 for 3. Officially in the ball game. And we'll take that pitch for a strike. Mark Trumbo with the 4 RBI ball game. He's had a 5 RBI game this season. Now a 4. His first 4 RBI game, 1 5 RBI game. And this is the 2nd ball game this season. She's been able to deliver those kind of numbers.
And that 5 RBI game was a 5 RBI inning.
Yeah.
Texas hit 2 home runs in 1 inning.
1 ball, 2 strike count.
He has been a monster in this lineup. Man, doing some serious damage behind Davis and fits right into the clubhouse.
1-2, 2 down. Hardy looking to pick up an RBI himself. Orioles up 8-3. Lang with the 1-2 delivery and a ground ball up the middle, and it's picked up by Escobar. He will get the out. Orioles are retired. They pick up a run on a couple of hits, leave 1 on, 8-3. O's on top. it will be real soon back to them. Brad Brock will try and finish it off here. Brock comes back out. He's already worked an inning and a third. His high this season, early on obviously, has been an inning and 2/3 against Toronto.
Yeah, a little surprised that I'm bringing O'Day or Britton in just to get some work here, but Brad can clean it up.
He will face Gordon, Perez, and Infante in the bottom of the 9th inning. Alex Gordon, a base hit, a run scored, came in the 2nd. He's popped out, drawn a walk, and will take the pitch for a strike. Orioles had not scored since the 4th inning before getting that run in the top of the 9th, but the Orioles bullpen shutting down the Royals, who have not scored since the 5th. And a 2-strike count.
A nasty change right there from Brad Brock. That is his equalizer against lefties. It fades away, drops down like a split finger. Unbelievable pitch.
0-2 the count on Gordon. And he gets him. And did it in a hurry. So Brock picks up the strikeout. That's his first.
I'll take a look. Back-to-back changeups. Nasty. Wow, does that thing drop. The turbo change. Here it comes. Center cut fastball. Oh, no. And down it goes. And Gordon just shaking his head, walking back to the dugout.
Salvador Perez, the home run is 4th in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. 2 RBIs came on that home run. He takes the big swing and a miss. Other RBI, Escobar base hit. It's in the 5th inning, and that has been it for the scoring for the Royals. That'll be ladled down the line and foul. So Wilson in line to pick up the win. Tyler, in his first start of the year, 4th appearance with a victory, would go 1-0. Chris Medlin would take the loss and be 1-1. Perez with a 2-strike count. Wow. 2 Ks.
2 Ks, 6 pitches. First 2 sliders. And here's a fastball. Right down the gut, 95. Hit it if you can. Slider slowed him down a little bit. Get that fastball by him for the 2nd straight K.
So the Orioles 1 out away from taking the 2nd game of the series. Brock is there for his strike. Infante a double, run scored. 1 for 3 in the ball game. 7 pitches in the 9th inning from Brock, all strikes. 0-1. Make it 8.
Well, this is what you're supposed to do. When you have a lead, attack. All strikes here from Brad Brock and all quality pitches.
0-2 delivery and a chopper to the mound. Brock's got it, and the Orioles have the win. So the O's get it done here in the 2nd game. A big 4th inning turned the ball game around. They got 4 runs on 3 hits. That put the ball game away. 8-14-1 for the Orioles. 3-7-0 for the Royals. And the Orioles now set up the rubber match for tomorrow, as Mike Wright will take the mound against Giordano Ventura. Our coverage on MASN 2 will begin at 1:30 with those extra, presented by Jeep, followed by our game coverage at 2. This has been a MASN presentation. Lots to review. Tom and Rick coming up for Mike Bordick and all of our crew here at Kauffman Stadium in KC. I'm Gary Thorne.